Good afternoon and welcome to Rebels Radio. Adrian's being stupid. He's not putting his headphones on. He's not behaving himself already. Welcome along to Rebels Radio. This for live coverage of this afternoon's Evo Stick Southern Premier League match between Slough Town and Hungerford Town. The floodlights are on. It's a grey, murky New Year's Day. Welcome to 2015. How are you, Ade? Did you have a good New Year?
I was babysitting, so I had a nice sober New Year. What about yourself?
Yeah, I had the pleasure of one of the joint managers.
Literally?
Not literally. Oh, Jesus. That sorry.
That is a good New Year.
That's enough to put people off their lunch wherever they are.
We must be getting some more listeners now.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, hopefully. Yeah, I was just relaxing, getting ready for today's game. So, big game in the division, as always. Hungerford flying recently in great form and doing very well. Currently sitting in seventh, but if they win today and other results go their way, they could be as high as fourth. But they haven't lost in the league, I think, since something like the 8th of November.
Yep, and first league meeting between the two teams as well today.
Yeah, they've had a large number. It's something like 12, is it? Or something? 12 cup games, most of which have been Bucks and Barks.
Bucks and Bucks Cups. And the
one early this season.
Yeah, which we lost 2-1.
Yeah.
You didn't attend, did you?
I didn't go. I was
there.
I was having a night of... Yeah, I'm not committed. I should be committed, but I'm not committed.
I'm not saying a word.
That's a different question. And yeah, that game we had a very odd formation. I think Dobbo was left back in that game, wasn't he? I seem to remember.
He didn't last very long, did he?
No. He
didn't get sent off. He just got injured. Don't panic.
Don't panic. The players are yet to come out on the pitch. As I say, it's kind of it's dry-ish. The pitch is a little bit cut up. They haven't been able to work on it that well recently because of all the very cold, icy conditions. It's been frozen solid, but it's thankfully thawed out for today's game. The Slough substitutes are just kicking a few balls at Luke Knight. That might give you a clue to some of the team news. Is in goal, trying to palm a few of them away as we await the players. The two teams, though, Slough in goal, number 1, Jake Somerville, 2, Sean Fraser, 3, Ryan Parsons, 4, Tom Moran, 5, Lee Rumbold, 6, Ben Edwards, 7, Jake Parsons, 8, and captain Adrian Sear, 9, Scott Harris, 10, Ed Smith, who passed a fitness test, and 11, James Dobson. And on the bench, number 12, Billy Jeffries, 14, Rhys York, 15, Luke Knight, 16, Johnny Dyer, and 18, Oscar Betts. So only one change from the game away, the 0-0 game away at Chesham, as someone seemed to just be playing with our door for some reason to our left-hand side. The Hungerford Town in goal, number 1, Paul Strudley, 2, Gary Horgan, 3, and captain Dyack John, 4, James Rusby, 5, Matt Day, 6, James Pilling, 7, James Clark, 8, Matt Collins, 9, Harry Goodyear, 10, Lee Smith, and 11, Alan O'Brien. On the bench, 12, John Monday, ex-Beaconsfield and Burnham, 14, Scott Rees, 15, Isaac Osu-Tutu, and 16, John Baldman, and 17, Brendan Norris. And the referee, Jeff Russell, assisted by Mark Weatherall and Daniel Gazwetsky.
Yep, as the players of both teams just come out of the tunnel.
To our right hand side.
They're coming a long way.
They've come to the edge of the 18-yard box. The referee, they're all facing away to the stand to our right-hand side as we look at it. Slough dressed in amber shirts, navy shorts and navy socks. Hungerford in their changed kit of all red, which is very easy to tell the difference between the two teams today out there, isn't it?
And the goalkeeper's wearing bright green and Jake's got bright, big, dark blue, so it's good.
So, yeah, the players are lining up. They're both, unlike last week when Chesham certainly had a height advantage against Slough, Hungerford look a reasonably sized, but they look quite well matched, don't they, really? In terms of Slough's team news, Guy Hollis is still away. Rummy's in his last couple of games. He's playing today, and then he'll be in the squad, I think, on Saturday for the home fixture against Burnham before he then flies off to New Zealand. And we all wish him well. He's probably played in a slightly different position to what he was anticipating. And sadly, Clergy's still injured. Ed passed a fitness test. There was some worry after he kind of went off late in the game against Chesham last week that he pulled a hamstring, but it was only a tweak.
And Adam Martin, the re-signing is suspended today, and Saturday as well, so he won't be around in. And so a partnership of Tom Moran and Lee Rumbold, who did very well against Chesham on Boxing Day. Yeah,
and interesting. Hungerford are missing a couple of their former strikers. Their top striker this season isn't available today. We don't know why. And MP also isn't available.
MP's a Slough boy. Played for Slough, but I believe he's used to go to school in Slough, still lives in Slough. Yeah. And they've also got Dan Cann, who's an ex-Slough player who came to us when he was about 18.
Yeah,
he's not around today either.
No, but Draycock, who scored something like 40% of their goals or something, he isn't available. So it'd be interesting to see how the partners how they are going forward. They have Hungerford haven't scored a huge amount of goals, but they've been very, very tight and disciplined at the back. They've won their last 3 games on the road. Done very well away at Redditch, at Poulton, and at Chesham. So they're certainly no mugs, and they're looking up. They finished 6th last season.
It doesn't look like it's going to be a high-scoring game today, does it?
No, well, I don't know. It depends on.
Unless both goalkeepers get sent off, that'd be fun.
And if anyone cheated, there's a slightly perhaps lacking cloud for what is a New Year's Day match. I think the weather and perhaps excesses last night may have put a few people off. But are you just going to go and tell that man that he can sit down if he needs to? There's someone annoying Adrian. But we're just waiting for the kick-off.
It's not a good start to New Year, is it?
No, Sear and John are just shaking hands. It looks like we'll stay as we are. So Slough will be shooting up from left to right up towards the shed end as we start.
And not many people here today. It looks really sparse, doesn't it?
I would say you're looking 250 max, and that's including all the season tickets, which we always go on. If your first time along, please do contact us at MyFC Rebels Radio or through the forum, whatever works best for you. But we're about to get underway. Hungerford with a kick-off. They'll be kicking from right to left down the hill, and we await the kick-off in this Evo Sticks Southern game. So we're just waiting for Jeff Russell to get us underway, and he's just checking with both assistants near and far, and we're just going to have a moment. Adrian's gone off and dealt with himself. He's a bit grumpy as our Adrian today, but we're underway. Hungerford immediately played the ball down the left in the direction of the very whippy Alan O'Brien. Fraser lets it go out. Is there much wind out there, Adrian, do you think?
Not as much wind as there is in here.
Oh dear. Well, that's not a pleasant thought today. As Hatchett starts battling for a ball, and Hungerford play the ball back all the way back to Strudley, away to our right. Not the biggest of keepers, takes it well on his right foot. Just got plenty of time to then pick a pass. I can see your flag being unfurled over on that right hand side. Slowly
and badly.
And badly. As Jake Parsons wins that header, heads it back to Ed Smith, who flicked it to Scott Harris, who's now played the ball through towards Ed Smith, but well cut out there at the back. And Day drives the ball forward, and now it has Rumbold lurching backwards. But Slough under pressure immediately as there's a long run forward and a good testing strike initially from Clark, who burst through the middle, and just an early tester, a warm up, and Hungerford they're unfurling their 2 St George's flags away to our left hand side.
Look like they're playing a 4-3-3 formation, and they do seem to like you said, they're not a big team, but they do seem to have a lot of pace.
Yeah, I certainly know that when we went to see them earlier in the season, Alan O'Brien was exceptionally fast. He doesn't often get many starts. He's come on often from the bench, but their pace is something that they'll look to exploit, I think, as the ball's just in play in midfield, and it's driven forward by Captain John in towards the Slough box and flicks away, but Moran tries to tidy up, but it's out on the left with O'Brien, and O'Brien's up against Fraser, and O'Brien's trying to take him on, helped now by Jake Parsons in that corner, and O'Brien clips the ball across, well kept in by Somerville in his royal blue kit.
Yeah, and he comes Hungerford appealing for a corner there, but nothing given.
And the ball's slashed out to the right, and it's too far.
Second ball kick in a row from Jake, isn't it?
Can I have some paper, please?
Paper? What paper would you like?
Just a bit of paper.
All right.
I always like a bit of paper.
Is this where you try and guess what their team formation is?
Yeah, I like doing that.
You do that.
You carry on talking.
I'll carry on talking. It's a throw-in on the near side touchline to us. Captain John throws the ball in. Well won by Collins, who plays it back. And
Matt Day's quite direct from Day there, really, wasn't it? And Moran comes through the back, wins the ball. Parsons guides it all the way back to Somerville, and Somerville, a better kick this time.
Much better kick.
Has Ed Smith after it, and Day deals with it, but not very well. It falls to Dobson, reintroduced to the side, and he's driving forward with his left foot outright to Jake Parsons, right hand edge of the box, chips the ball in towards the far post. Hatchett's there, rise well, collides there with the centre back of Day, but Hatchett's picked it up on the far side, turning back inside.
Dobson's out of position though, isn't he?
On his right side, back into Ben Edwards, who's stumbling around towards the edge of the box. He's run himself free, out to Fraser. Fraser now down along the line to Jake Parsons, and Parsons, bit of space, tries to step over, clips it off John, and the first corner of the game after 3 minutes is to Slough, which this is where Dobson, I think, will add some value. Yeah,
it's the first time we've actually played with 2 proper wingers for quite a while. Normally, like I say, Luke Knight's been filling that left-hand role basically since Dobby kind of got sent off, wasn't it? So be interesting to see how we work with the 2 wingers today.
And how the delivery is. Again, we haven't got the tallest of lineups. Moran's going in there, as is Hatchett's making a nuisance of himself as normal. But there isn't that much height. Rumbold goes forward for the corners as well. There's a little bit of movement. We're just waiting for
they're doing the hokey-cokey one today.
as they've driven around, and it's floated towards the back post. Keeper comes out, gets a good fist to it, and now Hungerford will try and attack. Ben Edwards just collides there with the referee, Jeff Russell, and it's going to be up to Lee Smith to try and drive the ball forward towards Alan O'Brien. Adam? I'll call him O'Brien. I'll call him just O'Brien. Would work for me, would it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. O'Brien, if you want, I don't mind.
Sir O'Brien.
But Lee Smith was the guy that came. He was played for Cirencester a couple of seasons ago when they knocked us out of the FA Cup. So he was a heck of a player then.
Yeah, he is decent. I think he's
and a long throw
into the box there, and it's driving around, hooked away there by Tom Moran, but not very far, and it's now out on the right far hand side. Clipped back inside to Collins. Collins chips the ball through. It's well held up though by Goodger.
Is it Goodger?
Goodger. But it's Somerville claims it at the second attempt as the ball's rolled into the box, and we'll just hold it up for a moment, just let Slough to clear their lines, get their back line up a little bit. This is first home game for a little while though for Slough. It'd be interesting to see how they cope. Their form and performances haven't always been as strong at home. As Day comes through the back, wins that header well, and again Hungerford immediately on to a quick ball through, but it's Lee Smith this time was offside. But
you can just see that the front three, and it's maybe a formation that Slough have struggled with quite a few times this season, but teams playing 4-3-3. But the three of them are actually interchanged. You've got Smith has now come to the left-hand side and O'Brien's gone to the right.
Yeah, and Goodger, the kind of bigger figure, Goodger's kind of the bigger lump. He's gone out on
Goodger, isn't it? It's Goodger. Goodger. I don't know.
As we're just waiting for...
If we call him Harry, he's the only Harry on the pitch.
No, I don't care. We're not calling him Harry. As we're waiting for Strudley to get the game back underway to our right-hand side, he's got a goal kick, and he'll clip that out right towards the dugouts on the far side. Well won in the air by Dobson. Second ball, though, won by Hungerford, and it's still bouncing around in there, and a fierce tackle by Fraser, then in on giving no time at all to O'Brien, but he's done well, and O'Brien's won it back, but Ryan Parsons has asked a lot of Fraser, and he's sliced the ball out, and John is sprinting forward.
He's apologised immediately, Ryan Parsons. That's a terrible ball.
Yeah, it certainly came off his... it wasn't going where he intended the ball to go in there. Looking again, I think, to do a long throw, and once again it's going to be the slight figure of Rusby, making his way all the way forward. Similar to Hollis, both wearing number 4. Not perhaps quite as built as Hollis, but he's looking to take a long throw to put Slough under pressure. A few big players up there. Moran trying to guide players around as he's up against Goodger.
Sear with the header first.
Sear headed off his toes though, but it'll be another long throw that it looks like Rusby's going to take and fire it into the box. We've played 6 minutes. It remains goalless here at Holloway's. No real clear chances for either side. Just one shot from James Clark from the edge of the box, but it's bowled in, and it's now danger on for Slough. It's towards the edge of the box, side-footed, but not past it. Past him by Pilling that time. Was just had a side-footed effort, and it was well held by Somerville, diving to his left-hand side, and long clearance from Somerville, and it's found Hatchett, who's given the ball away, but Ben Edwards picks it back up, fires the ball out right to Jake Parsons, who's 5th start in the row, inside to Fraser to Sear flicks the ball to Ed Smith, he's let it run, it's 3 to Parsons is unlucky as the ball just ran away from him, and it's tidied up there by the long throw taker of Rusby, who has somewhat sliced his clearance there, didn't he?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Jake does this first half, because the side of the pitch he's running down toward the corner where the water butt is, if you've ever been to Holloway's Park, that side of the pitch is an absolute mess, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. I think there's been more exercise and doggies and things, and as the throw's gone in towards Hatchett into the box, and Hatchett's going to have a shot, left foot shot, it's deflected, but it's held back, and now it's Dobson in the box, drives it and slashes it wide, but two opportunities in a moment for Slough, but they couldn't hit the target with either one.
No, Scott Harris should have done a lot better with that first chance. Are they coming around with tea?
Yes.
Oh,
yes, they are. They always love a little bit of a tea run, don't they? Especially for you, because you're their favourite, obviously.
Yeah, of course. Should I turn the microphone off this time so it doesn't interfere?
Yeah, you can go on with it if you like. As we're just waiting at the moment for Strudley to get the game back underway. Goal kick on the right-hand side as we look at it. He's just drying the ball off in his arms. We've played 7.5 minutes. It remains goalless. There's some biscuits arrived for Ade, so we're all quite happy. We can see Cameron. Light conditions still quite good. They've got all the floodlights are on though. Pitch is not in quite ideal condition, but it's good. What have we got here today? Oh, we've got mint mini roll and a Galaxy mistletoe kiss as the ball's played forward. Oh, thanks very much. I'll drop it. And I'm just looking where the ball is. It's in midfield at the moment, out with Dobson on the left-hand flank for Slough. Tries to clear the ball, but it's well dealt with by Collins. And Collins has cleared that one out the ground. And a new ball is called for by referee Jeff Russell.
So I haven't watched anything. I've just been getting the tea and cake. Sorry.
You've been... He's a pervert, ladies and gentlemen. Harris is just adjudged to have committed a foul there, and Hungerford quite keen. They've started at a decent tempo and may have just shaded the first 7-8 minutes, I would say, but Slough had 2 chances there where they should have really tested or at least hit the target. But fighting to get the ball clear, and it's now out with right back Horgan. Comes all the way back to Rusby. Rusby chips a long ball forward, and it looks to be in the direction of Lee Smith. And Lee Smith's trying to keep this in, and he didn't quite manage it. He was well shepherded by Ryan Parsons, but they look to be playing balls over the top more than playing through and round, don't they?
Trying to get over the back of the back four. Maybe they've seen that Slough obviously have Lee Rumbold, who's obviously a centre midfielder playing in defence, and Tom Moran, who hasn't really had a lot of football for Slough. There's an injury to someone as I think Scott Harris has just taken his top off and put it back on.
Stop.
Oh, no, so it's Ben Edwards. He's just taken his Under Armour top off, if that makes any sense. Sorry.
Good.
But there is someone, I think there was number 2, Horgan, who's just down there injured, but he just seems to be winded, or maybe got it in the
gentleman's area, as we call it. Flicked on by Harris, the clearance, and picked up well by Dobson, but just overruns it slightly. It'll give John the opportunity to clear it long, and he does. He puts the ball down the left channel, and Alan O'Brien opens his legs up, but Rumbold comes through well, wins the ball. He's got a little bit of time as he advances up to halfway, passes it on the ground to Dobson, flicks it up in the air, headed on by Jake Parsons. Smith then puts Day under pressure, and Day clips the ball up, headed away by Rumbold. It's a little bit harum-scarum at the moment, isn't it? As Hatchett was having a good old push and shove there against Rusby, but I think it was 6 and 1 and half a dozen of the other, and Hatchett just looking over to the linesman on the near side, just saying, well, hang on, is that fair? I got a free kick a moment ago, as the ball's played into Goodju's feet. Out right now, and Hungerford moving the ball around nicely here. They're trying to get it into the box, and there's a bit of space there for O'Brien, and O'Brien out right. Ball crossed in towards deep towards the far side, and headed over by Goodyear, but that was decent football from Hungerford there. Yeah,
and Slough were caught out there, and Goodyear, who's mostly the tallest player on the pitch, he was being marked by Sean Fraser at the back post, but fortunately the ball was hanging just too much for him to get any decent power on that, and over for a Slough goal kick. But they've got to be careful at that, if that's the matchups, and that's what we were talking about with the movement of the 3 players up front for Hungerford Town, is that they're swapping sides. O'Brien's come back over to this side, Smith's now playing in the middle, and Goodyear, whatever you want to call him, is on the right hand side.
Yeah, I think it's a fairly fluid system. There's a well one header there by Pilling in the middle, but it's only fallen as far as Jake Parsons on the right hand side, midway inside the Hungerford half. Just cuts back, turns it into the right back Fraser now looking for some opportunities, pass it down the line. It's all a little bit tight there, but finds Jake Parsons, overlaps, and he's put it down towards Valpo, overhit, and Dale just usher that out for a goal kick.
It's good play though by Slough. I mean, normally what you've maybe seen at some of the home games is they panicked in these kind of areas and just lumped the ball forward, but they tried to play a little bit of football, just didn't work at that time.
No, there isn't quite as many people as normal over behind that goal to our right hand side as you might always like to see, but hopefully they become vocal down here. Hungerford maybe have brought 30 or 40, would you say, at most, as Adrian Sear wins the header from the clearance from Strudley, headed away by Day again, and it's in the middle by Collins, who fires the ball outright to Goodyear, who's out there and seemed to just maybe slide over the ball slightly there as he went through on Dobson, but won a Hungerford throw on the far side, and into the Hungerford dugout it goes, and again there'll be a throw on the right hand side, this time by Horgan, the right back, quite a tall slender figure, looking to throw the ball down.
They're not even tall. If you look at the bench for Hungerford, they're small as well, aren't they? So
that's because they're a long way away, Adrian.
No, it's because they're tiny.
There's Ryan Parsons battling in this, wins a free kick up against Goodyear.
If Neil Baker makes you look tall, then you've got to be tiny, surely.
No, he's just wide. There's a difference. Or are we not allowed to say that?
You're not allowed to say that after you spent last night with him.
I am. I'll kiss and tell. As one of the earlier games that finished up, it was Corby 1, Histon 0, I believe. The early goal in the Biggleswade in the Biggleswade game, I think they're 1-0 up at Arsley. Here it remains goalless. Slough looking to break through, but it's cleared high and wild.
That is a terrible clearance. That clearance is going to end up in the Beaconsfield service station.
No, that is horrendous. Service station's that way. It's going to on the slip road to the M40.
It will still be bouncing down into that. Someone's going to be driving along and they're going to get hit on the windscreen by that clearance. Sorry.
If we hear some sirens in a minute, we'll know. the Slough fans just start to make their noise, but the throw's misguided by Fraser. Doesn't find its intended target of Harrison. John's able to clear it, and then a strong tackle as Rumbold goes up against Goodyear, who's certainly put himself about a bit. He's a physical specimen, isn't he?
When that ball came in, he was
fully committed.
After the challenge, he came off worse against Rumbold, and I don't think he liked that too much.
Welcome along wherever you may be listening all over the world. I hope you've had good New Year's celebrations. Please do contact us. Let us know what's going on, as the ball's still not being cleared. Captain John for...
Is this going to be your thing where you're going to just nickname people Captain John and Captain Manwaring and whatever it was?
Just describing his title.
Just call him John.
That might get confusing. Surname. Well, yeah, but I do call him John, but he is the captain. Am I not allowed to call him Captain John?
You don't say Keeper Strudley every time, do you?
Yeah, but then otherwise I wouldn't say right back Horgan and all that sort of stuff, would I? So it wouldn't work like that. As Rumbold flicks the ball forward, but it's a heavy touch, and Day's going to try and clear it, but doesn't clear it well. And a strong tackle coming in by Captain Sear, who just levered off the ball there. I think Collins probably knew what he was doing slightly, and Sear's gone down. Super Kev's on his toes on the far side, but he's limping away.
Sear's he's all right. Takes a lot more to put him.
Collins just seemed to be following the ball there for some reason. I'm not quite sure.
I think he's following. Yeah, he's following
the ball just to see where the ball was placed. But there's a free kick to Slough where they're going to pile bodies into the box on the far side, all standing around the edge of the 18-yard box. Lots and lots of men. A two-man wall. Dobson, left-footed, will put it into the area of uncertainty. He's going to swing it in left-footed. He swung it in. It's a great delivery. It's well headed away, though, by Goodyear back there defending. And it'll be a throw into Slough on the near side, which Dobson looks to take quickly. There's a little bit of movement in there.
There's no one for him to aim at.
Tom Moran's it's fired into Harris again, to Parsons now. Parsons tries to chip it across towards the back stick. It's to Ed Smith. Fires it off to the edge of the box. Ben Edwards leaning back, and he slid that over the bar. But encouraging signs for Slough.
Yeah, that was better play again. Ball came to Jake Parsons, and instead of just having a shot in aiming at like 40 people that are blocking in front of him, he's played a sensible ball through. Great layoff by Ed, and unfortunately Ben Edwards was more likely to score a conversion in rugby with that shot, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but positive signs, and I'm particularly liking Dobson's delivery today.
Yeah,
the two or three set pieces he's had.
They're getting a lot of joy down this right-hand side where Captain John doesn't seem to be the best player.
You can't say that. He's Captain John. As the ball's into midfield, 2 Hungerford players collide, but somehow Ben Edwards wins it. Collins now clears it outright. That's awful defending there on that far side. I think it was by the number 7, James Clark, and somehow it's ricocheted off everybody.
And Dobson's holding his elbow by the looks of it.
Dobson's still down on the ground, and Super Kev's just going to walk off to him, and Ryan Parsons is just facing towards his own goal, plays it back to Moran. Moran opens his feet up, passes it out, and then a strong tackle comes in from Ben Edwards.
How's that?
And then Ben Edwards just trying to slow things down a little bit, and ball's clipped out to Captain John on the left, immediately shut down by Jake Parsons. He's still on the halfway line, facing back towards his own goal. He's going to go back to Day. Day now opens his body up. Slough snapping at the heels of Hungerford, putting them under pressure. They've worked the ball out well, though, to Gary Horgan, right back position, plays the ball down the line. Goodyear's challenging there strongly against Parsons for it, and it's eventually out for a Slough throw.
A lot of people seem to be opening their bodies and opening their legs today. Have you got some kind of hidden agenda? Have you been watching some wrong films over this holiday period?
No.
Are you sure? We'll see.
We'll see, yes.
You've not got a bet on how many times you can say the word open in the commentary today?
No, otherwise I'd have a sweepstake on something else. I'm not quite sure.
Oh, and the ball's played forward. It's Smith up against Rumbold. Rumbold does well, but it falls to O'Brien. Keeps it in on the left-hand side. Inside to Pilling. Pilling across to the right-back Horan, who's come inside, but over touch. And
ricocheted off both off Ed Smith and off the back of
Ryan
Parsons, and eventually out for a goal kick for Slough. Jake Somerville slowly making his way across, and just making his way gradually over there too.
You should really concentrate on what you're doing.
I am concentrating on what I'm doing. I don't know what you're on about.
You nip a pen and everything. I don't know. Hope there's no goals.
I'm having my tea. Oh yeah, you can have your pen back. The wind just picks up. It's a bit blustery and cold. It opened the door a few times there. I thought Ade had turned up early. He hadn't.
Maybe it's the ghost of Christmas past or present
or future. Apparently, someone told me the other day, and I don't know, someone will be able to tell me if this is right or wrong, but you're not supposed to do washing, i.e. not wash yourself, but clothes washing on the on New Year's Day is supposed to be bad luck. Have you ever heard of that?
I've done the washing today.
Oh dear, someone's going to die apparently. That's what it means. So if someone does, please let us know. But don't blame us. As Slough start to play the ball around nicely, they've played it out from right to left, and it's all the way back with Ryan Parsons to Ben Edwards, who showed Ben Edwards inside to Adrian Sear, opens up his body again, out to Fraser. Fraser flicks the ball, nutmegs O'Brien, out to Parsons, gets it back, but gives the ball away. Now O'Brien's flicking the ball through the middle. It's all a little bit tight.
Well taken,
well picked up by Ben Edwards. Edge of the box, left foot shot. Oh! Just bobbled and bobble pass, but that was a much better effort from Ben Edwards, and had Strudley scrambling to his left-hand side, but just wide of his left upright.
Yeah, used his experience well to. He anticipated where that ball was going. He did well, took it along and hit it first time, and it just seemed to bobble, didn't it, in front of Strudley, and I think he was quite lucky.
I don't know if he was going there. I don't think he'd have made it if it just crept inside the post otherwise, because he didn't seem to be letting it go. And
sometimes those bobbles can go either way, but fortunately for Hungerford Town, it's gone their way and it's just gone wide. And the game has restarted, and straight away Collins has just hoofed the ball out of the ground, right back to the cameraman. What do you call him, cameraman? Lawrence?
Lawrence, the cameraman.
All right, okay.
That's to give him his full wrestle title.
Not cameraman Lawrence?
No.
Okay, so the ball's out for you, you're not missing
like
much.
Assistant Baker, as opposed to manager. As on the far left-hand side, Ryan Parsons throws the ball in. Ed Smith chests it back with some force. Slough looking to get the ball in the box from the left-hand side. Chips it in towards the edge of the box. It's flicked on by Jack Parsons to Scott Harris in the box. Left foot snapshot, but it's dragged it wide again.
Yeah, he scuffed it, hasn't he?
Slough need to start making some of these chances count.
Yeah, this is very much the same against Chesham, wasn't it? Slough had some good chances, but just didn't make them count. Didn't get them on target enough, and a bit of deja vu, maybe. Deja vu.
Just trying to have a look for any of the other scores going on. There's a full programme today. Arsley versus Biggleswade. The last we heard of that, it was Biggleswade with lead 1-0. Banbury, Redditch, Bideford, Poulton, Burnham, Chesham, Cambridge City, Histon, Chippenham, Frome. Corby have won 1-0 against Histon, Dunstable, St Neots, Poole Town, Dorchester, and Weymouth, Truro. So a bit of a trek for Truro on New Year's Day, isn't it, really?
Well, everywhere's a trek for Truro, isn't it? Apart from Bideford, maybe.
Are you trying with your alliteration there? Everywhere's a trek for Truro.
I haven't got a clue what you're on about.
No. Is alliteration too long a word?
Oh, if I knew what it meant, I'd have even said that. And Bennett up against Fraser. And Fraser does really well to win that out to Jake Parsons. And Sears played the ball forwards. He's been caught afterwards there. And Ed's come chasing down onto the centre-back, Rusby. He does well, closes him down. It's a throw-in for Hungerford, just outside their penalty box. Yeah,
the temperature of the game's just risen over the last couple of minutes, and Captain John just clears the ball forward, and Moran deliberately left that one, and it's then through, and Sears trying to head the ball on, but it's back to Rumbold, who'll just have a moment, and he'll play a ball, but it's cut out by Goodyear. Fraser tidies up all the way back to Somerville, who first time clearance, but it's only going to find the big figure of Pilling.
Touch.
But he's had a terrible touch, and neither team in this last 5 or 6 minutes everywhere, isn't there, Adrian?
Yep, there is indeed.
As ball's back with Fraser, midway inside the Hungerford half. But his poor ball down the right, intended for Dobson, didn't find its target and just rolls harmlessly out of play. We have played 22 minutes here. It remains goalless. A couple of chances for Slough and a couple of chances for Hungerford. So 0-0, probably a fair reflection.
Yeah, no really great difficult saves for either goalkeeper to make at the moment.
No,
yes, not. Newcastle, Burnley, 1-1. There you go.
Thanks very much.
QPR are 1-0 up against Swansea. And Liverpool are leading Leicester 1-0, but who doesn't lead Leicester 1-0?
So, Rumbold just levering the ball forward, up down the far side, and putting Hungerford under a little bit of pressure, but it comes all the way out to Goodyear, who's played the ball out right to the right-sided player of Clark, but he's run straight into Ben Edwards, and Ben Edwards has cut the ball out well, passes it out to Jake Parsons, under a little bit of pressure immediately, but turns back inside, and Sear showing for it, and it'll be to Sear, and Sear looking to fire the ball out left, but plays it short to Tom Moran, who's had a heavy touch, and he gave the ball away, but luckily, equal bad touch from Collins there, and Hungerford come away with a throw just to the left-hand side of their dugout on that far side.
That was very lucky for Tom Moran that Hungerford didn't take that chance. They would have been 3 against 2 then.
And Slough not doing well against Moran. Moran again gives the ball away in his own half, and it will give Hungerford the opportunity to get men forward and players into the boxes. On the right side, it looks like it's Clark going to chip the ball in, headed away this time and up by Moran, helped on its way by Fraser, and now Parsons in a foot race against O'Brien, and O'Brien will win that easily, passes it back to John inside today. Hungerford just now inside their own half. Happy to look to pick a pass, and it's a long diagonal raking ball which Moran does well and comes through the back of the forward up there to win the ball, but it's fallen to Goodyear. flicks the ball forward, repelled by Rumbold, but it's all a bit harum-scarum out there, lacking a little bit of quality.
The
ball bounces over O'Brien's head, and Fraser, the right back,
there is a pattern of play, and Slough getting a lot of joy down the right-hand side, but also into the corners. Hungerford experience a lot more of the ball getting, trying to attack Fraser and Ryan Parsons, with Smith and O'Brien being the two that are trying to cause that trouble. So be interested to see if it carries on like that, or if some team will make a change to counteract it.
Scott Harris flicks the ball on, and it has the Hungerford back line in defence. The ball's held up, but it's well dealt with in the end by Strudley, and then helped on its way by Rusby. Repelled back by Rumbold, and Harris is there, but Rusby was playing him onside, and Dobson's now picked the ball up 30 yards from goal, curls one, and hit the angle of post and bar, and that was a great effort. He curled it round, and that was Dobson had a moment about 30 yards from goal, dead centre, and he just fancied it, and he just chipped and curled a ball, not with a massive amount of power, but it had Strudley absolutely beaten, and it rattled off the frame of the goal, and that was by far the best chance so far after 25 minutes. Yeah,
Strudley just didn't seem, I don't know if he thought it was going wide or anything. He was quite surprised it hit the
Dobson's
post.
Now just been caught again, and plays continuing. Ed Smith is going down a blind alley, and the referee...
Why is it a foul now and not before?
Because I think he was having the advantage to see whether Slough were going to do anything with it, but Ed was running away from goal into the corner. So
and Dobson's lying on the floor as if he's been shot by a sniper. So there's not much advantage, is there?
Dobson's had a good first half when he's been involved in the game. You'd like to, I think, for Slough, if you're a Slough fan listening out there, you'd probably want him to be a little bit more involved in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally before that shot, as the ball came to him, Ed was out wide, totally unmarked, and I thought he was going to. The better ball was to.
Dobson outswinging free kick towards the far post and headed straight over by Tom Moran, but the referee's whistle had blown anyway. It wouldn't have counted, but a little bit of a let off. Lots of collisions in there. I don't think the assistant's flag was up from what I can see, so it must have been a little bit of colliding in the box there that caused that.
A bit of pushing. Referee's going to give that, but yeah, it's livening up. It just maybe needs a goal, doesn't it? A bit like Boxing Day.
Yeah, I think so. The atmosphere here is a little bit subdued. I think everyone's kind of.
I think the Slough fans are making a little bit more noise at home than they have done the last few games at home.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The Burger Van lights are shining out. We're going to have to see if we get any sort of interesting balls into Burger Van bar type scenarios like we did last week with that cracking shot by Rummy, who it was even on the I think it was even on the Chesham forum at one point, as Jake Parsons picks up the ball in midfield, centre of the pitch, tries to play a ball out right, but he's under hit that, and O'Brien defending is decent with his pace. He tries to clip the ball up the line, and he's only fined Jake Parsons again. And Jake Parsons finds Sear 10 yards inside the Hungerford half, ball forward, but it's miscontrolled by Harris, and ball's now out with right back Horgan, and Hungerford going to have the opportunity to clear it. Chip down the line to Clark back inside to centre back. Hungerford quite happy to play the ball around. They but fired long and directly all the way through to Somerville. Yeah, they're quite happy to play a few passes around the back, and then it gets all a little bit quite direct, doesn't it? Really, but
yeah, I think kind of like what Slough have been doing previously in home games, where they're not 100% sure of what they're doing, and maybe just booting it up in front instead of taking their time.
Ed Smith flicks the ball on, and it's in the direction of John and Harris, and John goes back towards his own goal, but flicks the ball away well. Good defending there, but concedes the throw into Slough. Slough will have another attacking opportunity in this last 5 minutes or so. They've come into it a little bit more,
and again
haven't they?
Down this right-hand side where Parsons and Sean Fraser seems to be getting a lot of joy.
O'Brien doesn't seem to be defending that much. He's one of the few players wearing gloves today. It's certainly more mild than it has been of recent times. And the ball's out in the right back position. And there's looked like there's a handball down there, which has been given by the referee's assistant down on that far side. And Slough would have a free kick in that far right
Pilling
corner.
seems to be pleading his innocence there, but
like what you've done there. And we're just waiting. It's going to be Dobson again with a free kick, very close to the left-hand right corner. He's been quite pedantic about when exactly
where he wants it. Yeah, it was nowhere near there either, but
we're quite
hey-ho. Dobson's just giving them the instructions of where he's going to put it or where he wants people. He's just told Tom Moran to go closer in, right on the 6-yard line.
Once again, a two-man wall for Hungerford. Left-footed in-swinging free kick. It's driven in. It's flicked up, but not away by the right back. And now the keeper's come a long way. There was some collision between Hatchett and Strudley, and it was quite a soft decision because he came out and flapped a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's totally flapped at that ball. Nowhere near it, and the referee said that's a foul. Two overprotected goalkeepers nowadays.
Like last week when Chesham had a perfectly good goal ruled out against Slough.
It wasn't perfectly good, was it?
It was fine. It was exactly the same. So you can't have your cake and eat it, Adrian.
I can. It's sitting here waiting for me to eat it. I have a Galaxy chocolate bar.
Yeah, but we don't have any
mini roll.
We don't have any Nana Lins though, do we? That's proper cakers. Referee then gives a free kick against Dobson, who climbed over the back of Goodyear there, and the management team for Slough throw out their arms in exasperation. I'm not sure after half an hour who will be.
I thought they were doing the YMCA.
Happier managers at the score of 0-0. Obviously, Slough quite content that they haven't conceded, but also they haven't been that troublesome as a.
And Jake Somerville has just gone. He's flaps at that one, hasn't he? Got nowhere near it.
He came over the top of Goodyear, completely misjudged it, swung an arm at it, and completely missed, and it fell to O'Brien on the far.
Smith, it was.
Was it Smith on the far side of the box? And he's had a slash at it, but thankfully Somerville got back in position and kept the ball in.
He had a slash on it.
He had a slash at it. As once again, ball gone forward, and it's not judged well by Rusby, hit forward by Harris, but Smith can't get on the end of it, and then Harris just going for a ball there, and some strong tackling there, once again by Pilling him there. Likes to put himself about a bit, and Ben Edwards interested in that, but as the long ball's gone forward, and Lee Smith down the left-hand side, up against Rummy, and tries to beat him around it. Rummy uses his body well, tries to cross it in, but well done by Smith, who fires the ball in, but straight into the arms of Somerville. So Hungerford just biting back in this last 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, and it's just the referees are just letting a couple of decisions go at the moment. I thought Ben Edwards should have had a foul there, but he let that one go. Obviously watching a different game. Somerville,
long clearance up in the direction of Harris. Harris then flicks the ball onto Ed Smith, does quite well, has 2 or 3 touches, then
got no help,
looks for the ball out left to Parsons. No, there wasn't a huge amount of options there. Inside to Sear, midway inside the Hungerford half, looks for a long cross-field ball, played to Jake Parsons. Jake Parsons cuts inside, passes it out to Fraser, gets the ball back to... chips the ball over to Fraser. Fraser up against John now, and John up against Fraser, and John's heading back towards the goal, slips but pass it inside to Day, who poor clearance only finds Jake Parsons, who clips the ball into the box. It's well cleared though by Rusby. Slough being held back, and Dobson now 30 yards from goal plays the ball out to Parsons' feet. Goodyear's retreating well, just hit Dobson as it came through, otherwise it was going to fall to Ed Smith, and a little bit unluckily for Slough.
Someone keeps coming in. I think there is a ghost, isn't there? The ghost of Holloway's Park.
Just go and shut the blooming door, would you? As ball's back with Strudley away to our right-hand side. We are in the final 15 minutes of this first half. It's dragging somewhat. It remains goalless. Slough have hit the post. Hungerford have had a couple of decent chances themselves, but it remains goalless. The deadlock yet to be broken.
Is that because it's 0-0?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Just in case anyone was wondering, it's only 0-0.
It is still 0-0. As the ball's fired forward, bounces over Harris, headed away by Rusby. Back in by Ben Edwards, and then Rusby once again chests it this time, takes a couple of touches and puts a long fire ball in the direction of Lee Smith, but headed away by Jake Parsons near the assistant on the far side. And Hungerford just take their time with this throw because they want to perhaps have another long one. Do we think, is it going to be the long?
Yeah, Rusby's going forward for the long throw.
Midway inside the Slough half on the far side, going to fire the ball into the box. He's just waiting for some of the taller figures to get in there. The figure of Goodyear's up there. The rather tall figure of Pilling's edge of the box. Should be surprised that he doesn't actually throw himself in there. Perhaps he always waits on the edge of the box.
Maybe he's got the better shot in Bush's
ball flicked in, headed away from quite a low height there by Ryan Parsons, but it's out to the thrower, out to Rusby on that far side. Passes it down the line. Hungerford still penning in there. It looked like he slipped.
The linesman's the linesman put his flag up and went, "Oh, should I give it?" And then he's looked at the referee and then, "Yeah, I'll give that."
As Ben Edwards was just stood behind, I think it was Pilling there in the middle, and for some reason he just gave a. Just gave a free kick. The guy slipped over in front of Ben. Yeah. Ben didn't touch him and was trying to get the ball. And the linesman almost apologetically put his flag up. And
I think maybe the officials today have got to take into effect that the pitch isn't the best of conditions.
So left-footed free kick. Alan O'Brien swings it in. Jake Somerville does well. It's fallen to the edge of the box. Right-footed half volley from Gary Horgan right to wide of the goal. And a bit of an opportunity there for Hungerford.
Yeah, Jake did well to get to that one. His handling's not been fantastic today. I don't think his decision-making's been brilliant today, but that was a good decision.
No, he did well there as O'Brien fired that ball in. It was a dangerous ball, but Hungerford seemed to be winning most of the 50-50s, which can't please Slough as they pick the ball up again in midfield, but Fraser holds the ball up, passes it out to Ryan Parsons. Ryan Parsons, a rather unguided ball forward towards Harris, and Harris collides with Rusby, and Rusby's just lying on the floor. It's a head injury, so he should stop the game.
But he didn't do anything. He didn't collide with Scott Harris. He ran past him to get the ball and just went down.
Yeah. and we just wait for the physio on the far side to come.
They've got a female physio. Maybe that's what it is.
As on the far side, Ed Smith and Scott Harris just go across to the bench, to the Slough dugout, just get a drink and perhaps a few words of advice from the joint managers.
He's down, but apparently he doesn't want treatment.
So the referee stopped it because of a head injury, but he's sat on his haunches in the centre circle, and it's going to be a throw-in, and it's got to be a throw-in to Slough, hasn't it?
No, Sean Fraser headed it out.
Oh, did he? Okay. And John's carry on playing, so it looks as if Hungerford are just carry on playing from that, and it's down in the far corner with Goodger up against Moran, and Moran's done quite well, but conceded the corner, so Hungerford now have a set-piece opportunity on the far side, which it looks like number 8, Matt Collins, is going to go across to take.
And Rusby and Day, the two centre-backs, are going forwards, and again, Pilling is quite high, but he's sitting back.
So perhaps he just
along with John, and they're going to be marking Ed Smith.
Perhaps he just can't get his feet off the ground. Yeah. Maybe he's got a 50p head or something like that. As we play 35 minutes, Hungerford corner, near side, in swinging. It's a high lofted one towards the far post.
Free header.
And headed free and wide.
Matt Day with
by
the
Day, who lost his marker there, but headed it back across, and you were expecting to see the net bulge.
I thought that was going in all the way, but
what, as opposed to going in part of the way?
Yeah. What have you been doing? I don't know.
I don't know what we're talking about now.
Standing up again,
Sit down. But I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but he's not been terribly helpful. He's they're going to go get some tea, but everyone's just...
There's a Mexican wave in front of us.
As the clearance from Somerville goes long, and Day goes underneath it, and Ed Smith battling up against Captain John, and John clears the ball, but he's sliced it, and it's nearly taken out of fans. They're walking away fans in front of us, and it's going to be a throw to Fraser if the ball ever comes back.
Yeah. Fraser, I think, just chatting up the blonde woman there. Housewife's favourite, isn't he? Well, he used to be until Guy Hollis turned up, apparently. So I've been told.
I'm not sure about this, but Slough just not quite clicking at the moment, as Day clears a long ball forward, and it's headed away by Tom Moran, but it only falls as far as Hungerford, and that's a slashed clearance there by Pilling in the middle, and it's down in the far right-hand side for Slough, right-back position, and Fraser's just making his way back, in no hurry, but Hungerford looking to box Slough in as we're in the final 10 minutes of this first half. There's not an awful lot to talk about, really, is there?
No, nothing new.
Oh, hang on.
What do you have to do? Oh, you don't mean to do that in case you got rude pictures on there?
There's no rude pictures on there. As the ball's up in midfield, battling for it, and Ben Edwards just criticised then for a free kick against Collins. I can't quite believe that, because Collins didn't get off the ground. Ben Edwards did, and he's conceded the throw in there. That was a very innocuous challenge, and it will give Hungerford the opportunity through the right foot of Matt Collins to get the ball into the Slough box.
But he's not happy with where it's being taken. So what's it done? Move it 2 foot back?
Yeah, it's going to make a big difference. Oh, and at Weymouth, Truro take the lead on 35 minutes, so that's a somewhat surprising goal, as the ball's driven straight in the direction of Jake Somerville, and it looked as if Goodger was after it, and slashed high and wide and over by
Slough were complaining that Goodger challenged Jake Somerville, and that Jake was fouled, and they're saying, why isn't it a foul? But yeah. I think that's perfectly good by Hungerford.
He was just going for the ball, and he's allowed, and that's obviously a tactic. They've noticed that Jake isn't the biggest. They've put a couple of balls under the bar for him, and say, Goodger, go and attack it. And on a couple of occasions, Jake's been slashing at it. I'm not sure what the referee...
Is that a substitution for Ed Swift's coming off?
So Ed's not happy with his hamstring. So Ed is coming off 37 minutes in to the first half here.
Johnny Dyer?
Yeah, Johnny Dyer will be coming on. So Johnny Dyer gets some much awaited game time, I'm sure, for him.
Well, I must admit, during the pre-match kickabout, I think Ed Smith must be hit it into the car park at least 4 or 5 times. I think he was claiming that he kept hitting the bar, but I don't think he went anywhere near the bar, so his shooting boots weren't on today.
No, and also, I mean, after that slight hamstring twinge, he obviously passed himself fit and has done well in that, but that will be a blow for Slough. I mean, he is a great striker, but he always seems to, be made of chocolate or something. He always seems to, you look at him and he could get injured, and it's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but it also means we're... referee.
and he's
just pushed him. Pilling's just pushed him, Sear in the chest. So that, by the laws of the game, is a yellow card.
The referee's just starting to have a few interesting decisions to make as he's started to give some soft decisions, it would appear, as the ball's out in the right back position with Gary Horgan, tries to chip it into the box on the far side, headed back across as a diving header from Goodyear, but it's all the way through to Somerville, who's going to look to set the ball off quickly as there's 3-on-2 in the favour of defenders, and well won by Johnny Dye through in the direction of Scott Harris. Day heading it away, but Scott Harris has used his strength, held up the ball well, and Day looked like he fouled him, passed it across, but unfortunately it was behind Ben Edwards, and tidied up in the
Dobson had just slipped as he went for the ball as well. But it's just going to be interesting to see how Dyer and Scott Harris play together, because they are quite alike in the fact that they're good in the air and not as...
They both like a flick, don't they?
Pardon?
Exactly, they both like a flick.
Yeah, so they're... whereas Ed's maybe got a little bit more pace than the other two.
Yeah, but Johnny Dye certainly will put himself about a bit.
He's already getting involved.
As he smashed a couple of balls into players there, and he's certainly, I think, fiery. It's one red head for another up front, and Johnny Dye's certainly putting himself about a bit. But Hungerford playing as the half progresses a little bit more direct, as the ball's with John, who plays the ball out to the right wing, and it's Goodyear there, but well up by Ryan Parsons. And why that wasn't a throw, or why wasn't that a foul when other collisions similar have been given as a foul?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Ryan Parsons has jumped all over Goodyear. And he's won the header, but he's jumped over his back like a leapfrog. And previously the referee's given that as a foul. Just
a little bit of inconsistency at the moment, I would say, in the direction of the
Hitchin are leading at Cambridge City 1-0.
Yeah, that's kind of like a home. Yeah, it's not too far, is it? Those some local games again. The goal apparently scored by Rob Farks from by Truro. So Truro winning at Weymouth so far. That's probably a key goal as far as Weymouth are concerned. They're many games behind, but their form's been good as the ball's bouncing around in terms of the edge of the Slough box. So Brian tried to clear it and flicked off Rumbold back there, and now it's Lee Smith on far side trying to get the ball into the box, but shepherded by Moran, clips it out to the far right side, and nearly fell off my chair as O'Brien's down there. O'Brien, left-footed swinger, whips a great ball all the way across, and it's only all the way through to Dobson, who's now got plenty of grass ahead of him, looking for some space, and Scott Harris puts an arm in the air. He's up against three defenders, and he's just looking for a bit of grabbing and pushing there as he runs into Horgan, but it's kind of well done.
The Slough players thinking that ball's gone out, but Godger's done well to keep it in.
Ben Edwards did well to try and get the ball across, and now Sear up against Clark in the middle of the pitch. Clark doing well to keep the ball. Plays the ball out left to O'Brien. O'Brien's got a little bit of space up against Fraser. Cuts inside, and he's running through hard and fast directly at goal. Someone needs to stop him. He takes a shot, and it falls off Moran, and it's now back out to John, left-hand edge of the box. Whips the ball towards the far post. It's headed back across, volleyed forcefully clear by Tom Moran. And
look at that. The Horgan went for the ball with his elbow out.
And Johnny Dyer just up against Horgan there, and our Slough fan sat next to me didn't think that much of that challenge there.
Well, no, I mean, if he's jumping, you have your arm to jump, but he didn't even jump. He just went straight into Johnny Dyer with his arm out. Forearm smash.
RC 1, Biggleswade 1 is another latest score. Cambridge City 0, Hitchin 2. There's a red card for Shepherd. The Weymouth game, so the Shepherd who impressed us very much when we were down on the south coast.
Yeah, and they visit in January, don't they, Weymouth?
And they do visit in January. So
you might be banned for that.
If it's a straight one, as Jake Parsons drives towards the edge of the box, low cross, flicked up in the air by Day, but it's only as far as Harris, who heads the ball on. It's still not clear. It's edge of the box, and Ben Edwards tries to win it, but missed the ball, and Collins has an opportunity to get the ball forward, and now Rumbold's
That's a good ball.
Going back quickly as Lee Smith, left-hand edge of the box, cuts back inside. He's got no real support up there. He's running away from goal. He's holding the ball up. He's gone down very softly. There's not a lot doing it. And he's got. And the ball's right.
Someone said book him, and that's absolutely right.
Ball played now into the other corner, and now it's going to be Rusby, who's just he seems to just do one thing and only one thing.
Yeah, boot it straight out of the ground.
Just chip the ball out the ground again on the near side.
But surely Smith there, he's done really well to run and get the ball, but he's two centre backs for Slough, and he's gone down really easy trying to win a penalty. And if it's not a foul,
it's simulation.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it has.
I don't think the referee's got the same law book as everyone else that's here.
No, he just seems a little bit inconsistent. As Fraser's down in the right-hand corner, he's going to look to clip the ball back to Jake Parsons. He fires in the cross, but it's not a great cross, and it's out on the near side. Slough just putting a little bit of pressure on Hungerford. We've got 2 or 3 minutes left of the first half. It's still 0-0.
Needs some movement from Slough Town.
It's all a little bit static as a number of people just start to make their way around to get a hot drink. As Jake Parsons in the box has a snapshot cross, but it ricochets out. He's going to try and get another opportunity. He whips the ball back. It's almost to Johnny Dyer, but well hooked away there by, I think it was Clark in the box. box who found himself defending.
Yeah, and Slough just not getting a break
knocking
with
on the
these
door
balls,
at the moment, and it's with Scott Harris inside the box. Just got a little shove there, but it's cleared in the end, and it's out with Lee Smith. Midway inside his own half, flicks the ball across, but that's poor direction, and then Ben Edwards just overruns it. Long smash ball forward for Hungerford, and Slough will have opportunity to take a little bit of time. Goalkeeper Somerville, dressed all in blue, will clear this ball down towards the left-hand channel. Dobson underneath it, flick forward to Johnny Dyer. Johnny Dyer now tries a crossfield ball, and O'Brien gets in the way of it, and then now another foot race, and it's Lee Smith. Somerville's come an awful long way from goal, and Somerville's done very, very well. He's certainly highest today, and he's found a decent touch.
Yeah, but he's just got caught again by Smith, and the referee's clearly seen it, and he thinks that there's nothing wrong with that. So he doesn't seem to like protecting the Slough goalie, but Strudley earlier, Scott Harris stood his ground, and he gives him a free kick. Maybe you've got to flap like a demented penguin to get a free kick if you're the goalkeeper.
Is that your quote of the day? Cambridge City 1, Hitchin Town 2. So plenty of goals there. A debatable penalty apparently, and which Dawkins put away. So ball's out on the near side. It's a Hungerford throw which John will take. He's not in any particular rush as we go into the last 30 seconds of regular time. Referees just checked both his watches.
Well, it certainly didn't go out of play there, surely.
As Adrian's very much got his Slough shirt on today, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies if you want a slightly more neutral commentary. As Lee Smith just herring after a ball. Tom Moran goes well, does simple defending, knocks the ball out, but it will mean that there's going to be a long throw, one final opportunity to take the lead potentially and have a narrow half-time advantage as as James Rusbury's gone all the way forward to take this long throw. The number 4 leans back against the wall, left-hand side of the Slough box. This throw is going to be fired into that near post towards Jake Somerville. It's fired in. It's under the post, it's bounced up and around, and Somerville comes a long way, claims the ball well. He seemed to get followed through again by Goodyear.
So look, they're saying that he did it with an elbow.
And Rumbold's absolutely incensed. He's run all the way over to the referee, clearly showing that he used his elbow, and they're not very happy at all with that. Ball fired forward to Johnny Dyer. Johnny Dyer controls it well first time. Back to Dobson, and then Johnny Dyer's down the far touchline in front of the Berger van. He's going to look to switch the ball in towards Scott Harris. Well headed away, and it's going to be a corner to Slough to death. So we are in additional time, and Slough very much unhappy, I think, with some of the challenges that are coming in. Adrian Steer continues to just talk to Jeff Russell there,
as the captain, he's got every right to go and.
There's been a few interesting challenges there about saying. Exactly what's happening with some of these challenges that are going on.
Yeah, Rumbold's just gone over and had a quiet word with the referee. I wouldn't want to know what that quiet word is, but
I think it's perhaps best suited for New Zealand, not England, as we wait for Dobson, right-hand side, in swinging corner. Slough move around towards the edge of the box. It's driven in towards the near post. It's flicked up in the air by Day. It's still not clear. Moran's flicked it in, and it's headed in.
Yes, in.
It's in by captain Adrian Sear from 2 yards out, and Slough have grabbed the lead in the 47th minute.
Yeah, and again, the referee could quite easily given for a foul there on the goalkeeper because it's quite soft, but he's done well, and Tom Moran's done really well to just flick that in at the second opportunity, and Adrian Sear gets his head to it into the top corner, and 1-0.
1-0 indeed. So, yes, Slough.
And the man with the dog who just walked past just sat in there and he got a perfect view of that. Good, well done, mate. Good timing.
Are you very happy with his timing and things like that?
I don't know.
As so Slough have grabbed a leading goal. Adrian Sear doesn't score that many, and that's the half-time whistle. And so Slough very much will go into the change room slightly happier. Interesting to see now, just to watch out if anyone talks to Jeff Russell. Rumbold just still having a couple of words with him as he leaves the pitch, and he's just saying that's a little bit naughty. He's just saying that's a little bit, and he's talking to the assistant on the far side, and the assistant's come and had a look as well and having a little word. And Rumbold's shaking his head. Dobson's going across as well, and Dobson's perhaps just trying to help him on his way. And they're all just making it. As the Invisible Man comes in again, we'll let you all go. We'll listen to the words of John Underwood, reflecting on the year that was 2014, and looking forward to the 2 New Year's fixtures of this game at Hungerford and the game against Burnham in 2 days' time. And we'll come back to you shortly. Cheers. Hello and welcome to Rebels Radio latest interview. I'm joined by Slough Joint Manager John Underwood. How are you, John?
Good, thanks, John. You?
Yeah, I'm excited for New Year and the build-up to tomorrow's big game against Hungerford.
Me too.
What's the latest team news?
We should hopefully be pretty similar to what we had at Chesham. Unfortunately, that means Jamie McClurg's still not fit. Realistically, he'll probably be back for the Histon game. I think it will be unlikely he'll be involved in these next two. Guy Hollis is away for New Year's Day, as he was on Boxing Day. And Adam Martin, obviously, who we've now signed, begins a 2-match suspension. So squad should be the same. Obviously, Eddie came off with a slight hamstring, a tight hamstring right at the end of the game. Fingers crossed, we're hoping he'll be fit. Might just need a fitness test, but he took part in a light session on Monday, so we're hoping he'll be okay.
New Year's Day, how does it compare to Boxing Day? Again, obviously players may be tempted perhaps to have a tipple the day before.
Yeah, it's kind of the classic, managers. We trained on Monday, and after the session I gave the lecture that every non-league manager gives his players about looking after themselves, and you can just hope, all you can do is hope that they do the right things. To be fair, I think we've got a pretty sensible bunch. I think, they're all, we're playing at a good level of football now where you don't need to go out and get drunk on New Year's Eve. There's enough nights in the year to go out and drink, and this isn't a message to the players, but I know we've done this one. But no, I'd like to think most of ours, or hopefully all of ours, will be sensible. I'm sure they'll see in the new year. I'm sure they'll have a couple of beers, but I wouldn't expect anyone to be going mad tonight. And it's a big game for us tomorrow, so we'd expect them to prepare in the right way.
And after the recent cold snap and cold weather, is there any concerns at all about the pitch? Obviously, it seems that the frost and that sort of coldness is lifting now.
Yeah, I know that the pitch was hard yesterday, but I think that the temperatures are picking up, so no, not expecting any issues there with the pitch, so we're expecting to be all good to go.
And a tough match against Hungerford. They haven't been beaten in the league, I think, since the 8th of November. Won their last 3 away games. It's a big challenge.
They're going very well. I mean, they won at Chesham, they won at Redditch. They've in the kind of past month. They're a side that we, at the start of the season, expected to be in and around the playoffs, and I think they would have probably expected to be maybe a couple of places higher than they are now. I think they had a few poor away results earlier on in the season, but they've certainly put that right. And I think they'll be looking to push on and look to get in the playoffs. So it's a real good test for us.
And then 2 games in 2 days. Home game again, a tough one against Burnham, who've been obviously kind of slightly revitalised under their new management team.
Yeah, obviously they won just before Christmas at Banbury. Had a narrow defeat at Hungerford, where I know they missed a late penalty, so they were very close to getting a point at Hungerford, which not many teams do. So, yeah, they're going to be up for it, as it's a local derby, as we will be. So it will be a tough game. I think the league form goes out the window. The league table, you forget about the table for a local derby. We're expecting a tough game. We know their managers well. We've got a lot of time for their managers. We genuinely want them to do really well, but obviously not against us. That's a game we need to go and win for ourselves.
And with the blend and mix of the squad that we have, how are you going to manage that over the two games in 2 days?
Well, we will look to use the squad a little bit. I think 2 and 3 days. If you've got what would be a regular starting 11 and then squad players that aren't at the same standard, then I think you probably keep the team the same. But that's not where we are. We see our squad very much on a level playing field. Obviously, we haven't made many changes recently because we've been playing well, but we've already said to the players we will use the squad over the 2 games, and we'll tweak it here and there because I don't think it weakens us to do that. There's very good players sat on the bench at the moment, so I don't think we will. It won't be a massive overhaul, but you expect to see a few changes. Obviously, we need to see what happens on Thursday. Do we pick up any knocks, and then we'll worry about Saturday. But first and foremost, we're picking a team that we believe can go and win on New Year's Day.
And so what would be satisfactory kind of points and results wise out of these 2 home games? Because you want to do well at home, you want to turn it into a fortress at Holloway's.
Yeah, we're on a good run at the moment. You'd say 4 points, but you normally say 4 points from any 2 games in this league is a good return. But we have to be aiming for 6. It's that comes down to where your ambitions are really, and we're still really ambitious about what this season could hold. So Hungerford are 6 points clear of us. Normally a point against Hungerford is a good result, but we have to be aiming to win that game and close the gap on them.
And then reflecting on the season overall, both this season, you're halfway through it, and the whole reflecting back at New Year's. What do you make of it? How was 2014 for you?
I mean, overall the year's been great. I mean, obviously we got the promotion in May, which was kind of the biggest day of my footballing career. I know Bakes said the same. It was a huge achievement for us to do it in our first season. So, as a whole, it's been a fantastic year. There's been a few downs as well. Start of last season was tough. This time last year we were really down in the dumps. We had a terrible December. Confidence was rock bottom. And then we had a fantastic start to the new year, and really that kicked us on. And we're actually in a better position now than we were this time last year. So, there's no reason we can't push on and finish really strongly. As far as this season's concerned, we're satisfied where we are. We've got we're well clear of any kind of danger at the moment, which is obviously your first thing that you look to do when you go up. But we want to finish as high as we can, and our aim has always been, can we keep the playoffs in sight? And there's a little bit of a gap there now, and that's why, if we're serious about getting close to that, we need to have a really good start to the new year. But we're at the same time, we're not putting lots of pressure on ourselves. We know it's our first season. We are still learning about the league. I think we've seen a good amount of it now. I think we know what's required, and there may well be things that we tweak as we go through the second half of the season, and if we don't quite make it this year, we need to be in a position, in a year's time, where we're sat here and we're very much looking at the playoffs.
And at what point do you think that will come? Is it by late January, if that gap, as you say, is a little bit bigger? Is that the time at which you kind of reflect and say, actually, we're not going to make any more marquee signings or anything like that at a stage, and kind of try and push, and actually let's consolidate and let's look at that slightly longer term picture?
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. I don't think we'll drastically change anything this season, depending on depending on how the next month or so goes. I don't think you're certainly not going to see the chairman turn around saying, you're not going to make the playoffs, we're going to slash the budget and get rid of lots of players. That's not the way he is, that's not the way we are. Whether we're winning or losing, I think it's inevitable. I think as this season goes on, we will look to probably tweak a few things, because I think the squad at the start of next season will not be exactly the squad we have now, and that's nothing against anyone within the squad. That's just the way football goes. I don't think there'll be any squad that starts next season with the same squad they've got now. So we're just constantly looking to try and improve. And that'll either be getting more out of the players that we've got to get us higher up the table, or potentially bringing in a little bit of fresh blood, as we've done with Adam Martin.
Moving ahead a year, we're looking then back at 2015. Where would you like to be?
But this time next year,
yeah,
in the Conference South, having won the playoffs. But I think that's obviously a very tall order. No, as I say, if we if we don't get there this year, I know we've only been at this level for half a season, but myself and Bakes are massively ambitious. We want to manage at the highest level we can and get there as quick as we can, and in a realistic way. And there's lots of exciting things happening. It's a great club to be at. With the talk of the new ground, we could be sat here this time next year ready to move into a new ground, and that brings added expectations, potentially added revenue into the club, which could help us attract, and keep an even bigger, stronger squad. So we're delighted we're at Slough at this moment in time. We're pleased with what we've done so far, but we've got a lot we still want to do at the club, and we're excited. We're excited for the year ahead. It's never a dull moment at Slough, and I'm sure there'll be a few downs as well as ups. But we're very positive about what the future holds.
And what's any New Year message for the fans?
Just to keep supporting us. I think that the fans generally have been fantastic with us. Obviously, there's been a few questions and doubts at times when things haven't gone well. Hopefully, they see that we have progressed the club in the last kind of year and a half that we've been here, and I think there's a bit of trust in us now, which is great, and they're behind us. I think one area where we always talk about is when we're at Holloway's Park, things are a little bit quiet sometimes. It's I think people are sick of going to Holloway's Park. I think we want to get back into Slough. Everyone shares that hope. I guess the message would be, while we're still there, make the support as loud and noisy as you can, because it does make a difference, and we need to improve still on our home form, and I think the fans can play a part in that. So that would be it really. Just keep supporting us, keep supporting the lads, and hopefully we can go and have a real successful year.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a nice new year. Any resolutions?
Just to keep improving.
And what about any suggestion for the other joint manager?
No, you're leading me down a path to give him some stick. I've done that before and I won't do it again. So no, I'll leave that one there for you all to wonder what that might be. But no, just wish everyone a happy new year and looking forward to seeing a good crowd tomorrow.
Cheers, thank
you. Good afternoon and welcome back to Holloway's Park for the second half of the EvoStix Southern Premier League match between Slough Town and Hungerford Town. The score is currently Slough Town 1-0 up with a goal by Adrian Sear in the 47th minute. At the moment, we're not sure if there's any more substitutions apart from the one that where Ed Smith went off on 37 minutes, replaced by Johnny Dyer. We're just waiting for the referee to come out, and while we do, we shall take this opportunity to say that the football club is encouraging people to take part in the 500 Club. And if you don't know what the 500 Club is, I will try to explain it to you in the best of my knowledge. But basically what you can do is there's a form that's either on the main Slough Town website or the Supporters Trust, and you can basically £60 for a year. It comes out with a direct debit of £5 a month, or you can send a cheque or pay cash if you come to a game in person for £60, and it enters you into a prize draw. This prize draw is every month. And last month's November winners was first prize was £200, second prize and third prize were both £95. So if you're thinking of investing £60, you only need to win once, and you've got a season and a half's coverage out of that. So all the proceeds, apart from the winnings, go to the football club. So if you're looking for a New Year's resolution, or you're exchanging some of your unwanted Christmas gifts on eBay, or you just want a late Christmas present, ask someone to do that for you, and you can find those on the Slough Town website.
Yay.
Okay, thank you for that.
Are you going to go through the teams?
No. I was just going to tell you that today's game is sponsored by Tom King from the Herschel Arms, and the ball is sponsored by Alan Harding.
Other drinking establishments are available?
They are, but they're not normally as good, because that's where some of the players and fans often go afterwards. So, and there's Chaz, just come back from Singapore, smuggled a couple of ladies over, more than likely. So, he's coming in. See if he's got any ladies for us.
As we're back underway, immediately Slough shooting from right to left in this second half. They're just aiming down the hill, and the ball's through. And hi. As the ball's fired out in the right hand side, it'll be a Slough throw. Fraser with it. The Slough team in goal number 1, Jake Somerville, 2 Sean Fraser, 3 Ryan Parsons, 4 Tom Moran, 5 Lee Rumbold, 6 Ben Edwards, 7 Jake Parsons, 8 and captain Adrian Sear, 9 Scott Harris, 11 James Dobson, and substitute 16 Johnny Dyer. On the bench, Billy Jeffries, Rhys York, Luke Knight and Oscar Betts. Play just in midfield at the moment, just playing the ball around. Slough looking to try and get a foothold. Jake Parsons flicks a ball through, which has Harris slightly interested, but it's all the way through to Strudley. For Hungerford, dressed all in red, shooting from left to right up the hill towards the covered end. In goal, 1 Paul Strudley, 2 Gary Horgan, 3 captain Diac John, 4 James Rusby, 5 Matt Day, 6 James Pilling, 7 James Clark, 8 Matt Collins, 9 Harry Goodyear, 10 Lee Smith, and 11 Alan O'Brien. And then on the bench today, 12 John Monday, 14 Scott Rees, 15 Isaac Usso Tutu, 16 John Boardman, and 17 Brendan Norris. And the referee had a bit of a mixed first half. Jeff Russell.
Well, he's just done the same there again, John. As the ball came forward to Godger, Tom Moran's got his arm round his neck. He's won the ball, but for some strange reason, he seems to decide that's not a foul, and the play continued. So
yeah, a few interesting decisions as Adrian's just watching what unfolds down in front of us for this second half. As the ball's fired through, headed back across goal by Scott Harrison, it's almost out through. Jake Parsons comes flying across, but John manages to clear it. It's still deep in the Hungerford half and not cleared fully there, but up to the feet of Lee Smith from O'Brien, and O'Brien trying to get it away, and finally John does clear the ball, but it's ricocheted off Jake Parsons, who's got got him facing back towards his own goal, and he's in a lot of pressure, and he's clipped it into Day. Day's flicked the ball away,
That's good
and
clearance.
now there's pressure because Lee Smith's facing towards the Slough goal on the halfway line, tries to play the ball out left, and Slough backtracking at the moment, and he's flicked it on, and O'Brien's gone for a run, and Moran's come across, cut the ball out well, played it up, and Fraser's going to win the ball, plays it back to Rumbold, who directly plays the ball forward, flicked on by Johnny Dyer, but no one really chasing through, so it'll go harmlessly out of play, I think, on the far side, but
still got
kept in and played back to Studley, and Studley knocks it first time up, flicked on by Goodyear, and ball not really settled yet into a pattern. We've played 2.5 minutes. Slough lead 1-0. They scored in added time at the end of the first half. A somewhat rare Adrian Sear goal, headed in from 2 yards out after hooked back in from a Slough corner by Tom Moran, and Slough, just snatching it really in the final kind of action, weren't they? Really?
Yeah, just right, literally on the stroke of half time, wasn't it? So. Good time to. Oh, it's a great ball in for O'Brien. He's totally through.
Left hand of the box,
and he's finished it
in. And that was a great finish by O'Brien.
And it was terrible defending by Slough. What's that, minutes?
We've played 49 minutes, I'm going to say that was in. As the start exactly that Hungerford wanted. Slough haven't kept a clean sheet, but O'Brien was played in on the left-hand side, and he was given far too much time and space. And just as Somerville came out, he smashed the ball left-footed into the top corner.
You said earlier on that the guy had a lot of pace, and the ball was played behind Sean Fraser, and it's maybe what Hungerford have been trying to do all game is to try and get them into those spaces, and his pace was there for everyone to see, and he's just smacked that into the net with Somerville having no chance.
Yeah, no real chance for Somerville. So it's level, just as we were saying. Slough had got their noses in front. It becomes level very quickly, and Slough now need to stay sharp, and Adrian Sear just seemed to foul there in the middle. Got slightly held off the ball there by Collins. I can see this game getting maybe a little bit tetchy potentially as the progresses, as a long diagonal ball comes forward from Hungerford, but it's out on the near side just down in front of us, and Captain Ryan Parsons, I'm just used to saying captain in front of everyone. Ryan Parsons will look to take the throw down inside, just asking for some movement. Adrian Sear down the line, Scott Harris down the line for him. It's all quite tight. Taken on his knee by Adrian Sear, and he's still battling in there, but it's fallen to Lee Smith, and Lee Smith plays again.
Again, look, it's the same ball again.
And Lee Smith just got caught as the ball got played away there, and once again, Jeff Russell didn't do anything about it.
No, and it's the same ball by Hungerford. They've obviously had a half-time talking to by their manager, and they're looking at playing the ball behind the back four of Slough and getting behind.
As ball's driven forward, heavy touch by Johnny Dyer, and then Adrian Sear got slidden into by and he's stayed down and he's just slapping the throw. I think it was it's the tall figure of Pilling, I believe it is. Yeah, wearing white boots, the number 6. He stayed down and he's asking for some treatment, and Super Kev's just coming on. So not the best start for Slough in this second half. I would expect to see Luke Knight warming up, which he is, over on the far side under the touchline. Jake Parsons just making his way across to the Slough dugout. Bearing in mind we've only played 5 minutes of the second half, it's 1-1, and that's the first caution of the game to Pilling. So Pilling booked in the 50th minute.
You nicked my pen?
No.
Yeah.
As I may have stolen Adrian's pen. Some other half-time scores in the league: Arsley 1, Biggleswade 1, Banbury 0, Redditch 0, Bideford 2, Poulton Rovers 0, Burnham 0, Chesham United 1, Cambridge City 1, Hitchin 2, Chippenham 1, Frome 0. An earlier result: Corby 1, Histon 0, Dunstable 0, St Neots 0, Poole 0, Dorchester 0, and Weymouth 0, Truro City 1. As Adrian Sear continues to have treatment from Super Kev, Dobson's stood over the ball waiting to take the free kick, but Super Kev's still there, and it looks to be an issue perhaps with Adrian Sear's right ankle or right knee.
Yeah, he has had ankle problems before this season. He's missed a few games, hasn't he? So he's a tough old geezer, though. He'll get up and carry on.
Yeah, well, let's hope we... St Neots have scored a goal. Ryan Frater has taken the lead in that game over near the Luton sort of direction. Dunstable 0, St Neots 1. So the new manager at St Neots is obviously working wonders. As Adrian Sear hobbles off to the near side just in front of us, he isn't moving at all freely. He's not putting an awful lot of weight on his right hand side, but he's making his way off of his own accord. So Slough temporarily down to 10 players.
Yeah, Kevin's just given them the signal just to wait a second. He's just going to assess it.
As Luke Knight goes through some more rigorous running over the far side, Dobson midway inside the Hungerford half chips the ball in, but it's straight down the throat of Paul Strudley. Too direct, and Strudley immediately bowls the ball down the left-hand side, and Hungerford quick to get on. They've got the momentum at the moment. They've got the impetus after getting that equalising goal, and Across came Ryan Parsons from left back to hook the ball away, and Adrian Sears made his way back onto the pitch. He's jogging across the pitch towards the ball as we speak, but it's going to be a throw into Hungerford, midway inside the Slough half, far side. They're not looking to do a long one just as yet. John's taking it short, but gets the ball back from Goodyear, looks to chip the ball up the line and try and set O'Brien on his way, and Moran's going across. He's going to try and guide this one out, and Moran did well. The final touch, I think, was off O'Brien. O'Brien's holding his head in his hands. He's not impressed by that, and it's going to be a goal kick to Slough.
Yeah, right in front of the Hungerford Town fans there in the shed end, and they didn't seem to be happy with that. They seemed to think that was a corner, but the referee's decision is what counts. So he hasn't got a lot right today, so we'll let him be.
He hasn't got that many wrong. So we are level after 51 minutes here at Holloway's Park. Slough took a goal advantage into half-time, quickly cancelled out by Hungerford. Immediately, O'Brien on target early in the second half as Parsons does well to control a ball fired out to him on the right-hand wing by Rumbold. And now it's Johnny Dyer, the substitute. Ball at his feet, trying to just find himself a little bit of time and space. Back to Parsons. Parsons chips the ball in the direction of Scott Harris. Scott Harris working very, very hard down there against Rusby in that far corner. And Slough putting lots of pressure on Hungerford, but Hungerford managed to clear the ball up as far as halfway, and then an awful touch by Tom Moran, who just doesn't seem to have had his boots on quite right today. He seems to have just made a couple of basic errors. As almost an underhit pass back by Parsons, gets it back from Somerville. Gets it back to Parsons, chipped up the line, but over Dobson, and he's pulled his hamstring. The Hungerford player there,
it's Horgan,
clearing it. Horgan has pulled his hamstring, and he's. I don't think he's going to play any further part because he kicked the ball. He's rolling down. He's rolling around on the floor.
He's up. He's hobbling.
Yeah, but he's not at all in a good way. As he's definitely hobbling and holding the back of his right leg, and it looks to be a hamstring injury. He's running fast now though, but he's
running fast on one leg.
It's not the most gainly of runs, and
he's not signaling he wants to come off. So
no, and he's not gone down. 310 attendance.
310 here today.
It doesn't look like there are 310. There is a poor ball there to Jake Parsons, force him to slide down. And if you're the right back Horgan, surely you've got to go down at some point. He's trying to have a stretch at the moment.
He's stretching it out now.
Because when he kicked that ball, when he extended, you could see immediately
he went down,
as if he'd been shot.
If he'd been blown over by a gust of wind or something.
But now he's just stretching it out, and he seems to have made what could be a miraculous recovery.
Maybe Ed Smith needs to have a chat with him and see how he gets over it, and Ed Smith can't.
Yeah, possibly worthwhile as the ball's down the right hand side. But Slough, when they were looking to cross that ball into the box, and it was going to be Jake Parsons firing in, there wasn't a single body anywhere in the 18-yard box. But Hungerford have got the ball clear up to halfway line, and it's ricocheted through to them. And once again, Clark's now picked it up, and he's going to look to perhaps try and feed O'Brien. He's diagonally running across from right to left, inside to Smith, and Smith fires the ball in towards the near post, but Somerville comes out quickly, grabs the ball, and just I think might look to slow it down slightly. Because
it's because there's only two up for Slough, and they're playing against four, and that's exactly what he's done. He's booted it long and high.
And he's tried to fire it over to Jake Parsons and hasn't done well. The referee's assistant on our near side getting called out to change it. It's all gone a little bit scrappy, a bit more of a battle out there as now, and Scott Harris is certainly is trying to get involved, but Johnny Dyer hasn't seen that much of the ball. As Rumbold just bumped the back of Goodyear then. But Hungerford attacking now, but the ball just behind O'Brien.
Just played it behind him, didn't he? That's a shame. But Slough haven't started fantastically, have they?
I think they got the wind knocked out of them. Literally,
and the wind is. I think they're playing against the wind as well, aren't they? So
yeah.
So it's interesting to see how it goes.
As the ball's being played out to Dobson, and that's a hell of a long ball, but I think it's just being held up slightly. Dobson's going to do well to hold it in on this near side. He's on the very far corner. He's running up against the fullback, Horgan. He tries to get the ball in. It's blocked, and it's a corner to Slough. Slough will have another set piece and opportunity to get the ball into the box. And
it looks like it will be. No, it doesn't look like Dobbo's going over to take it, actually.
No,
so it looks like maybe Jake's coming over for a right-hander.
Or perhaps possibly just going to get the ball. I would say Dobson is doing it. It's just because no one else will go and get the ball, so he's had to go and get it. So it'll be an out-swinging corner from the near side. Slough sending Rumbold forward, sending Moran forward from the back, all gathered towards the far side of the penalty area in a cluster, and they're just having a little bit of it was actually funny then. Horgan, actually, as the ball's driven in, well gathered by Stradley, but it was very fascinating then, because as Horgan went, Horgan obviously was being told to pick up a particular player, so he actually went round the back of all these Slough players gathered in a huddle to work out which number he was as to where he was, which one he should have been picking up. But long ball forward by Fraser. Scott Harris turns to try and pick it up, well hooked away by Day, and Lee Smith's going to pick up on the halfway line under the TV country.
He's just pushed him in the back.
Fraser just shoved him over.
And the referee's going, he's won the ball.
And the referee's just saying, it's fine play on. As I'm sure
that is absolutely terrible.
If you're the Hungerford bench, I think you've got to be asking what on earth.
Oh, and he is. He's having a go at somebody. Someone said something. Oh no, it's the bench.
Yeah, no,
but that was a clear
bench.
foul. I mean, Sean Fraser pushed him in the back as he went for the ball. So it has to be a free kick to Hungerford, and he's having a go at the. It's great because when he sends him off, he's just going to send him off, and he's got to stand behind the wall, which is standing in front of the ball that he is at the moment.
He's just talking to him, I think, at the moment, and talking to the linesmen up there as well, and just saying probably what on earth's going on, and you can understand the frustration there. Bobby Wilkinson and his management team over there must be a bit bewildered.
It was a terrible decision.
It wasn't a great decision at all. I just can't quite understand.
And he sat there going that he won the ball when he clearly pushed him in the back.
Yeah, as Slough have an attacking throw, Fraser with it, throws it in towards the feet of Johnny Dye. Johnny Dye just a slightly heavy touch, and then fouled.
Oh, see, now that should be. There's a
push there. Ben Edwards just having a bit of pushing and shoving there.
He's got a bit of an anger problem, hasn't he, Ben?
He likes a little push and shove there, but the referees quickly stamped that out. Nothing doing, and Day gets the play underway. Long ball forward and well won up by Goodyear, but Tom Moran comes through the back of Smith, and then thankfully a strong tackle, and then that was a horrible tackle by the look of things.
Sean Rumbold.
No, through Moran, I think it was. Was it through
Fraser?
It's
Rumbold. It's Fraser, isn't it?
It's Fraser.
He got clattered by two, didn't he?
I think he got clattered into there by Goodyear again. And it was a very strong, heavy tackle. And he looked like he went through the ball afterwards, but they weren't very happy. And, interesting decision, shall we say.
Yeah, maybe the referees just had a new rule book given to him or something.
Perhaps he's changed his glasses at half time.
Dunstable have equalised against St Neots.
And the ball's out on the left side with Adrian O'Brien. Alan O'Brien plays out to Goodyear, and then the Slough bench are now equally frustrated as the throw-in's been awarded to Hungerford. Hungerford bench are very
John Underwood's going mad at the referee there.
John Underwood about 10 yards away from the manager, and just. And
then he's given. He obviously realised he's made a mistake because the ball's been thrown in by Hungerford, and the referee's immediately blown a whistle to give a foul for something that never even happened.
And the end result is we've played almost 60 minutes here at Holloway's. It's Slough Town 1, Hungerford 1. Jake Somerville outside his goal, 10 yards inside his own half, going to play the long diagonal ball through, and it's in the direction of Scott Harris. Scott Harris underneath it, heads it back across goal to the right hand side. Well hooked away by John though, and Hungerford now trying to set themselves away as Smith wins the ball, and it looked like Rumbold just got caught out there the wrong side, and now the ball's out on to O'Brien and Smith forward, and it's inside to Smith. Smith towards the left hand edge of the box, clips the ball across, but well defended there by Parsons coming across, concedes the corner. But it really is open stuff now.
Yeah, and you can just see that Hungerford, that they're obviously looking now to use their pace, especially down that left-hand side with O'Brien up against Fraser, and obviously maybe the fact that they realise that Jake Parsons is in the space that's created from the 4-3-3, and he's not getting back and helping, and that's what they're trying to do.
It's an
O'Brien's
corner,
definitely getting into the second half, isn't he?
Yeah, as more space opens up. Corner on the far side, in swinging from Collins. Collins chips it in towards the near post. It's all the way across.
Free header.
All the way across, and Clark just needed to get a touch on it, but it's swung out, and it's going to be a goal kick to Slough. But it went all the way across the 6-yard box, probably in keeper's area, but just Jake Somerville didn't come and get it that time.
No, he's not made a lot of the decent choices today when the ball's come in, and. But he's done well, and couldn't do anything about the goal that we conceded.
No. But we just wait for him to get play underway once again as Hungerford start knocking on the door a little bit of Slough. And unfortunately for Jake Somerville, his afternoon doesn't carry on in good vein. He's knocked that ball straight out of play, and Johnny Dye just gives the ball back to the thrower of Horgan, who doesn't seem to have made a good recovery from that seeming hamstring injury, didn't he?
And then he's just rubbing his ball.
He's rubbing the ball.
Keeping it clean.
Yeah, and stutters, takes his throw, passes it to Clark, gets it back, and now hooks the ball forward, Horgan, in the direction of the tall Goodyear, who flicks the ball on behind Moran, and Moran's trying to guide the ball out, and he's holding off Smith, and he's held off Smith
done well there.
And won the goal kick for Slough, because Smith was causing some problems. You can see on the far side, it looks. Does that look a bit like the shape of John Monday warming up? It does look on the left hand side of the bench.
Yeah, well, he can play right back, can't he? So maybe they're just seeing if Horgan can last a little bit longer.
Yeah, as Somerville clears the ball long. Johnny Dyer underneath it, but Day wins that aerial battle, and Goodyear seems to be involved in a lot for Hungerford at the moment. Flicks the ball out to the right-hand side, chipped forward by the booked player Pilling, but it's only directly down Somerville's throat, and he's quite happy to gobble that one up, and then bowl the ball out under his feet and play it off the floor in the direction of Johnny Dyer once again. And Johnny Dyer up against the tall figure of Rusby, and Rusby wins it. Clark helps it on its way, and Moran, under no pressure, heads the ball on. Flicked on again by Ryan Parsons. Back to Parsons again, and then Pilling didn't look at the ball there.
No, he's just jumped at the man, hasn't he?
Jumped in at the man and ushered out on the far side by Horgan under pressure from Johnny Dyer. And it's all a little bit bitty, a little bit scrappy at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it just seems to have it's got a lot dark here, and I don't know, it's just not livening up, is it?
No, the game again I think needs a little bit of a spark as Hungerford trying to build from the back. It's an interesting touch there by Rusby, gets it away across today. Hungerford certainly comfortable to play from all areas, and then there's a ball in behind Sean Fraser who cuts it out, otherwise O'Brien was in again, and Fraser tries to play the ball forward, seemed to ricochet off a couple of hands there, out to Rumbold, and Rumbold now plays a raking ball down the right, but it's won by Jake Parsons in front of the dugouts, and it's just all a little bit bad. Both sides, very kind of
no
in each other's faces. There's no time at all.
Cancelling each other out, a bit like the Chesham game.
Yeah, the only being difference is there's a couple of goals so far in this one. Arsley 2, Biggleswade 1. As Slough now looking to get the ball forward down the left. Dobson, who's been hardly mentioned at all during this second half, up against Horgan, running back towards his own goal line on the halfway line, flicks the ball through to Johnny Dyer. Johnny Dyer flicks it on to Scott Harris. Scott Harris running through, tries to flick the ball through to Ben Edwards, just gets blocked, but Slough are knocking on the door a little bit. And Johnny Dyer does a nice little Cruyff turn on the halfway line. Sear knocks it out to Ryan Parsons. Ryan Parsons will look to drive the ball into the box. He drives it low towards the edge of the 18-yard box, picked up well there on the far side. Almost a little dive by Dobson, and then a strong tackle coming in by Sear, and Sear clearly won the ball. And Sear won that ball there, and one of the Slough fans, local to us, is just doing that. And I think
the referee's calling him over.
I think he might book him. He is. So Adrian Sear
and the referee, yet another fantastic decision.
Adrian Sear goes into the book in the 65th minute because for a tackle where he seemingly won the ball.
Yep, and if anything, he most probably should have booked Dobson for diving.
Yeah, Cambridge City 1, Hitchin Town 3. So plenty of goals in that game. Kelly the scorer there, we believe, but 2 players booked, both centre midfielders, quite combative, so Pilling for Hungerford and the captain Adrian Sear for Slough, as Slough just defending at the moment midway inside their own half, but the ball's ricocheted to Jake Parsons, got a little bit of space ahead of him, but the ball bobbled up just as he
terrible bobble, wasn't it?
Sliced it out the ground.
And that's one where he looks at the ground, and he rightly does this time. It wasn't the smoothest of bits of grass that he's found there, and taking a horrible bobble.
A horrible bobble?
Horrible bobble.
Easy for you to say, a horrible bobble. Horrible bobble. Horrible bobble. Anyway, sorry, we're going slightly mad now.
You've always been mad.
As the ball's on the halfway line, clipped forward by John, and it's in the direction of Lee Smith. He was interested, but well repelled there by Moran and Rumbold. And Ben Edwards and Ben Edwards just helping the ball on his way, but Slough aren't finding enough yellow shirts when they're playing the ball.
Oh, good tackle there
by Ben Edwards, winning the ball back and in the direction of Johnny Dyer, but smashed forward by Day. Repelled by Rumbold. It's not pretty football at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry that we're having to call it as it is, but it's not the greatest of games in terms of footballing quality. As Jake Parsons tries to clip a ball forward, Johnny Dyer athletically tried to keep the ball down, but it was repelled out, and so an attacking throw for Rusby. Slough looking to kind of just try and get a foothold in this game and try and just grab something out of nothing, really.
Yeah, they've gone back to their old style of a few home games ago, where they got the ball and they're just hoofing it forwards rather than playing football. Looks like there's going to be a substitution on the far hand side for Hungerford. 14, Scott Rees seems to be poised to come on.
As a ball driven in there by Jake Parsons, but it's been repelled on this far side, and Dobson now has won it back to Ryan Parsons. Ryan Parsons trying to find an option, passes it short to Ben Edwards. Ben Edwards cuts inside, but he loses out on the ball, and then the ball's smashed forward.
He's through, 1-on-1.
Rumbold's dived under it, and Somerville's come a long way, and Somerville slid, won the ball well. Good decision making there, because he slid out strongly 20 yards from his goal at the feet of Harry Goodyear, and Cirencester Hungerford very quick to get the ball back on the way with it, and that's with Goodyear.
But still, look, Goodyear's totally unmarked.
And he's crossed the ball across left-footed, and he's sliced that one out. It must
for
have
a corner?
Deflection, and it's a corner to Hungerford. But
I think the ball fell to the wrong person. I think if that had been Smith or O'Brien, you maybe would have seen a different result with that chase for the ball.
Cambridge City 2, Hitchin 3. Goals galore in that game. Poulton 3. Poulton now 3-0 down at Bideford, so not a happy trip down further to the west for them, but that was a good decision-making point by Jake Somerville there. Come off his line, but we're waiting for the in-swinging corner for Hungerford. We have played almost half of this second half. It remains 1-1. Driven in towards the near post.
Oh, and again, no.
And
what's the foul there?
I don't know what happened there. I just thought it hit a Slough player and bounced down.
The ball just went in. Everyone missed it. Hit a Slough player, and the referee's given a free kick. And he's obviously got some kind of fingers in his eyes. But there's a double substitution for Hungerford. 14 is Scott Rees is coming on. And we've also got 12, John Monday, and coming off is 6, which is Pilling, and 8, which is Collins.
So centre midfield pairing changing there. Maybe a different intensity coming on. So did you say, sorry, we had Monday and Rees coming on?
Monday and Rees, I've got 12 and 14.
Yeah, so Monday playing obviously perhaps in the centre of the park.
He's normally a defender though, isn't he?
I think he can play centre of the park sometimes. Equaliser for Weymouth. Yeti has scored a penalty, so that's
Yeton, I think he's supposed to be.
Yeah, but no, he's known as Yeti because he's a Yeti. Yeah, that's his nickname.
He's a Yeti.
Because he is, well, he's a bit of a beast. That was a blatant foul by Ben Edwards. Just gave him a little bit of push as Monday said, "Welcome to the game, Mr. Edwards." As Monday doesn't seem to have lost any weight, does he? Since he played for Burnham, that shirt's not doing him any favours. Don't
Hot kettle black.
No, blue. As Dobson's going to take this free kick just inside the Hungerford half, close to the D, and for some reason they're just again arguing about the exact positioning of the ball, and the referee's having to come an awful long way to say, is this exactly?
No, it's the wall he's moaning. That is a long 10 yards. It's a one-man wall, and he's not happy that he's not back.
I quite like it. As it's flicked on, it's bouncing around in the edge of the box, but it's fallen to Parsons, who slashes it. It's on the outside of his boot, and it's gone well wide. No danger there of threatening Strudley's goal. And Strudley looks to get the game back underway quickly. So Hungerford have played their cards early. I think Isak Osu-Tutu looks like he's warming up as well on the far side. Looks like he's kitted up, potentially ready to go.
And like you say, it's both Rees and Monday have gone in as centre midfielders. So maybe a slight change.
As Ben Edwards rises well, wins that header onto Jake Parsons in front of the Hungerford dugout, up against the left-back John and Monday, who stuck a leg in there, knocked the ball out, and it will be a throw-in to Slough on the far side. We have played almost 70 minutes here at Holloway's. It's 1-1. Dunstable 1, St Neots 2. Nathan Frater again, he's on a brace. He'll be on for his hat-trick now.
Ryan Frater got the first one.
Was it Ryan Frater?
Yeah, there's two Fraters there. One's a defender, one's a striker.
There's too many Fraters in this world. Don't love the freighters, as it were. As the ball's played forward long, and Ryan Parsons picks it up, chips it up the line, but it doesn't get past first man, and it's poor challenge there by Robos.
And this time, I think Ryan Parsons does catch Smith in front of everyone here, and this time it's the right decision. But
Smith
the fans
did go down quite
like
softly, didn't he?
Well, it's a foul's a foul, isn't it?
A foul's a foul's a foul's a foul. Sorry, are you talking about Fowler?
No. Is he going out on loan anywhere at all, or not? Do you know?
I was wondering what you were saying, whether he's going out anywhere, or I don't know. I'm not sure where that was going really, but
for fitness.
Okay.
Don't be rude.
As that long free kick's taken, it's going all the way across.
Kept it in.
It looks like it was kept in by Brown on the far side, clipped in, and then it's cleared long and high by, I think it was Jake Parsons back there, so it'll be a Hungerford throw-in. Slough just not really combining well. Neither side having much rhythm to their play. No,
I think Slough was totally disjointed since Ed Smith went off, and the goal was scrappy.
I don't think ever since Ed Smith's gone on, I disagree with you there. I think they were quite jointed towards the latter stages of the first half, but I think this second half they didn't really have an opportunity to start or employ whatever they were told to employ, and that goal really took it out.
Oh, straight into
long throw's been taken in. It's with Clark, and it's bobbling around in there, but finally hooked away there by Fraser, and it's again another attacking long throw will be buzzed in there.
The throw just went and cleared everyone and hit 7, which is Clark.
It hit Clark, 5 yards.
But Slough aren't winning the ball. It's another long throw by Rusby on the far side.
Yeah, and one of the substitutes, it's Rees over there trying to show short, but it's barrelled in and it's headed up and away, and it's falling. Lee Smith, 10 yards from goal, and he smashes
off the line.
Well by
is that the captain?
Adrian Sear on the near post.
We're not calling him Captain Sear.
Captain Sear just blocked one on the line. Somerville was beaten, and Lee Smith repelled, but it's a corner kick on this near side.
That is the best save you'll see this season.
He used his hand well, didn't he? He didn't really.
Almost as good as that one from that. I can't remember who it was. It was a Hitchin where the guy slid in and blocked the goal from going in on his own goal. I can't remember.
As the ball swung in towards the far post.
What's Jake doing?
Somerville almost off his line and it's still flapping around.
What's he doing
Somerville's
now?
come out a long way, but it's hooked away by Dobson and then seemingly blocked by hand against Johnny as Johnny Dyer tried to flick the ball forward.
But twice Jake Somerville's
Scott
made
Harris
the wrong
has only
decision.
got one boot on at the moment. But it was whipped in almost towards the top corner, and thankfully Somerville didn't go any further forward than the yard that he'd made. And
he flapped at it.
He did flap at it. He gave it a good old wave.
And then he bundled through the players to try and get the rebound, and he's very fortunate not to have given away.
That's a sackable offence.
I know.
Having your phone switched on when we're conversating. Scott Harris has now got 2 boots on. He's now walking upfield as Slough have a throw-in. It's with the back four for Hungerford. They hook this clear up into the dark afternoon sky, and Lee Smith's running onto this, and there's players all around. But once again, finally dealt with by Moran, but it's all a bit hurried and panicked as there's another phone call for Adrian as the ball's out with the right back Horgan. Horgan chips the ball in towards the far post. There's plenty of bodies.
Free header.
Down,
good.
but well saved by Somerville diving to his left-hand side. But Goodyear must be disappointed. He could have done a little bit better with that.
Yeah, that's a good chance there into the middle, and he should have done better.
Slough just hanging on a little bit and still no subs warming up for them. Ball's through. Clark wins this on the halfway line. Gets the ball back off Rees, but it's now through to Rumbold, and Rumbold heads the ball up twice and just loses out, and then Rees comes through and strong tackle from Moran. It's kind of real end-to-end stuff, and now Slough in trouble. They've got 4-on-3 at the back, but Rumbold's fighting to get back in there, and Sears he is as well as they try to get round Rumbold.
Oh, it's a good ball in.
There's the box. It's sliced.
Oh,
and
what
an
a miss.
awful effort there by Lee Smith.
What a miss.
He's opened up his his right foot and missed it completely, and it's ball's still in play on this near side.
Look, Dobson's got to be closer to Horgan. He's giving him time for a free
Flipped
header.
on and well held again. This is almost turning into goalkeeping practice for Somerville, as Somerville held that ball, but it's Slough just can't get out at the moment, can they?
No, and it's the same thing that they've done, and they're just not controlling the game and getting this ball in the second half. And maybe what they may need to do is they changed it a few weeks ago, didn't they, where they started kicking towards this end first half. Maybe change it around second half. There's no noise coming from the Slough fans at the far end whatsoever.
No, but then there wasn't too much in the first half, really, was there? I mean, it's you kind of, I guess you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. But Hungerford certainly looking the hungrier as the ball's played high to Smith on the far side. He heads it on, but there's no one there at all. It'll give Slough just a chance to reorganise slightly. As I don't think necessarily Rumbold and Moran in the middle have had the best options there, but they're playing themselves into trouble. They're giving the ball away, and now it's Goodyear again. Ball at his feet, 30 yards from Slough goal, plays it out left to O'Brien, who's been a little bit quieter, but he's got the ball at his feet at the moment and coming in field. Slips nice ball through to Smith, left-hand edge of the box. Rumbold's up against him, tries to chop it across. There's no one there as it's gone all the way across the 6-yard box once again. And now Dobson fires the ball down the line, and it's won there by Monday, helping it back in, and Horgan is there, chips the ball across to the walls of the far post, but it's over all the Slough
and again the ball straight into a Hungerford player.
They're not getting the ball clear at the moment, and Slough are very much penned in. They just can't get out as the long forward's gone. Hater's going for it. Hater? Goodyear.
I don't know if it's Goodyear or Goodyear or whatever.
But,
I don't know.
Somerville's got the ball in his hands. Panic over for a moment for Slough, but
yeah, the midfield for Slough just aren't getting the ball. We've hardly mentioned Dobson at all in this second half, and the ball's just gone to Clark there, and Dobson's near it, and he just stood there. He didn't even challenge for the ball.
No, as he hasn't had an awful lot of minutes, and maybe he's tiring. Maybe it's just showing a little bit. I'm sure the Slough management team are thinking about maybe making some changes, but at the moment their defensive four aren't clearing the balls well, and Tom Moran again just heads that one up in the air. The wind, I think, is having a big effect.
Headed it straight over.
Lee Smith's now in the left-hand wing position. He's up to the byline, tries to cross it across. He's sliced it though. I would say that I think probably the wind's having an impact on this game in the second half. You can see paper cups and such being blown down. It's almost a bit like, say, the Kettering game, where there was an awful lot of wind, or the which game was it? The Corby game? No, not the Corby game.
The Corby game was quite windy, wasn't it?
The St Neots game was a very windy day.
Yeah,
at St Neots, where
a final substitution for Hungerford on the far hand side, and thankfully it's Goodyear or whatever his name is. He's going off.
Yeah.
And coming on is number 15, Isaac Osset Tutu. And Dobson is off
for
Luke Knight. What minute is that, please, sir?
That is in the...
use your maths.
I'm not going to use my maths. Why should I use my maths view? It's in the 77th minute.
77.
It's 1-1 here. 77 minutes gone. Slough have rolled the dice a little bit, as have obviously Hungerford. They have they've emptied their bench. Monday resent Osetutu on. Bit surprising taking Goodyear off. He was still being a pest. And he looked the most dangerous.
But
really.
they've lost the height and just gone for a bit of pace in the centre now.
As Harris did well to just poke that ball out to Jake Parsons on the right side. Slough having a rare foray into the Hungerford half, seemingly getting pulled left and right by Day there, but Slough just keeping the ball a little bit better. I'm sure Luke Knight's been told to do that, but Scott Harris has shown well. Flicks it off to Jake Parsons, tries to flick it through to Johnny Dyer. Just a heavy touch in there, and now
against
it's a foot race
Rumbold.
Well
Smith
done,
Lee
Rumbold.
Rumbold.
Rumbold does well and puts the ball out on the far side, but Smith's quick to throw the ball into the feet of Reese. Tries to give the ball back, but it's misplaced, and Sear has the ball, but clips it straight out of play for a Hungerford throw on the far side. Slough just need to compose themselves, I would say, Ade.
Yeah, they just got to try and work the game a little bit slower. They're just panicking at the moment, and that's the problem that they've got. Just not putting a bit of composure on the game.
Mick, the reason that Burnham got their 3 points deducted, I know you're asking if that, they fielded an ineligible player, I believe, that they didn't get signed on in time.
And that's a crunching tackle there. And it's difficult because he has won the ball, but he's gone straight through Fraser. And it's number 5, sorry, it's Matt Day.
Day has crunched him on the halfway line, and Fraser's still down. And
it looks like there will be another substitution for Slough. It looks like Billy Jeffries is coming on. I think they're just going to wait.
Rumbold sat down as well, looking like he might need some change. I think Billy Jeffries is going to come on for Rummy by the looks of things. This might be sad. This might be Rummy's last.
It's not Fraser down. It's someone else. Must be Jake Parsons.
But Rummy's also limping around here. We can see, and it may well be that there's a yellow card there.
It's 5. Coming
for
off.
Day.
So is Lee Rumbold coming off?
And Rumbold sadly leaving the field, and on coming Billy Jeffries in his place. That might well be the last we see of Lee Rumbold in a Slough shirt this season, so we wish him well.
Well, he is here for Saturday's game if he recovers from his injury. So
and
let's hope so. But bit of a strange thing that Slough make that substitution. With the fact that Jake Parsons was down injured, he's up and he's off the pitch. He seems to be fine.
Yeah,
but seemed a bit strange making the substitution if you weren't sure that he was okay.
I think they probably got a fairly clear indication quite early on that was the case, and it very much looked like Rummy couldn't play any further part in the game, and being in such a kind of key position. Now it's a bit of a commentator's nightmare because they look so similar to one another. The only thing is that Billy Jeffries is wearing some Under Armour, so he looks like he's got blue arms, as opposed to Tom Moran. That's
Jeffries and Moran, just not anyone else.
No, as Bennett flicks the ball on, it's flicked into the box by Luke Knight, but it's hooked away and well cleared there by Clark, who's been solid, I would say. There's a number of the Hungerford players have been solid. They haven't been, outstanding in any way, but they've certainly.
I think maybe the pace of O'Brien, which is something you said at the beginning of the game, his pace is absolutely lightning.
And Smith's looked dangerous throughout, hasn't he?
Yeah, but they seem to have gone 4-4-2 now, Hungerford, since the substitution of Osetutu.
Yes, as Parsons throws the ball up the line, flicked on by Scott Harris, chested on by Johnny Dyer. Scott Harris still got the ball at his feet, but gives it away. Monday chips the ball forward, but high foot there, I would say, by Osetutu, but not by the referee. And Billy and Tom Moran just heads the ball out of play, and now it's going to be a throw down the line by Gary Horgan. Just signalling where he's obsessed with cleaning his balls as he's throw the ball down the line. Clark's got a bit of time and space with Jake Somerville. As we go into the last 10 minutes, it remains level, 1 goal all. Slough scored at the death of the first half with an Adrian Sear header, and then a great finish early and probably the 47th, 48th minute by Alan O'Brien put Hungerford level. And since then, I think Hungerford have probably shaded it in this half as Luke Knight gets beaten by Monday, but a driven ball plays forward, and then Scott Harris.
The ball's just up in the air, isn't it?
The ball's spending a lot of time in the air and actually out the ground. And as you can see, when the referee's assistant near side to us is showing his flag, you can see the actual speed of the wind and the wind that's with Hungerford this half. And
two people have had enough. It's time to go. Not us two, hopefully. That would be.
It's time for us to go, Adrian. It's time for us to go. Goal, Dunst. Oh, we knew that. I don't know why that's been.
No, it's 2-1 now, wasn't it?
It was always 2-1.
No, they equalised a minute ago, didn't they?
No, Frater scored. That was the second Frater goal, wasn't it, that you told me about? As the ball comes out of play just in front of us, and once again Ryan Parsons will rush across to try and take it, but there's no particular urgency, I would say, on either team. A few of the fans just starting to make their way out of the ground. They've had some good New Year's entertainment. It's been an interesting game. It hasn't been perhaps the highest quality.
That was a crunching tackle
by Scott Harris. That was a real strong tackle, and then Rees just gave him a little tap on the back as he walked past us.
Yeah, he just realised it was a good crunching tackle, and
also you don't probably do that to Scott Harris. Otherwise, Scott Harris might. As a long aerial ball by Jake Parsons in the direction of the keeper, and Strudley's got that on the edge of his box, and he's going to look to clear out of his hands. Up into the night sky it goes, and it's going to land on the halfway line, and see just having a battle in there with Rees. Rees again finds himself on the floor, but Lee Smith's got the ball at his feet, plays it out to the wing of O'Brien on the left hand side, looking as if he's going to cut inside, but
he does. He's gone straight past him.
Fraser, and he slashed.
He scores!
It's his second goal. He's just ran in from the left hand edge, came in, cut inside Fraser, and smashed the ball low outside of his foot at the far post, and Slough are now trailing.
We've said it all game long that O'Brien has been the person, and again he's just shown the ball. He's knocked it past Fraser. Fraser's done the best he can, but he's got no help there whatsoever, and it's a good finish into the bottom corner. I don't think that Jake Summer will be too happy with the
defending, and I'm not sure he could do that much about the shot. It kind of perhaps may have come to a lot of players, but
it's strange, isn't it? Like, they've got one player who's really good in O'Brien, who scored both goals, and they haven't done anything to try and counteract him.
No, it's exposed Slough a little bit for their pace down that right hand side. Fraser's not a slouch by any means, but Slough now looking at facing a New Year's Day defeat here as they trail 2-1 late in the game, and Billy Jeffrey's first input in the game is he heads the ball back to Somerville, who bowls the ball out immediately to Parsons. Slough looking to push forward, but they haven't created many chances in the second half as Luke Knight controls the ball wonderfully well behind him and flicks the ball up the line. He's now advancing, cuts back onto his right foot, slips the ball into the box. It's flicked in towards the far post, and it's well dealt with and hooked away, but Slough continue to push on as Ben Edwards plays it through to right back Sean Fraser, but he's pursued by O'Brien, and the crossing isn't of a good enough quality. Rees cuts it out, finds the feet down there of the left back of Diet John, and it's helped on its way clear. As there might be as Billy Jeffrey just got caught
get
there.
Kicked in the head as well.
It looked like he got kicked in the head, but he's got up as like a man who didn't clearly get kicked.
It's unusual because Billy Jeffries, when he goes down, normally just takes a couple of seconds and stays down for a little bit. But
yeah, but I think it often depends on the state of the game. As Slough...
Sean Fraser with the poor touch there as the ball came. He's done it again. That's twice. He's just let the ball run through his legs. Luckily, just waiting for him to take a free kick, so it doesn't matter. But he's wasting a bit of time with his poor touch.
As he's driven the ball into the far side of the box, flicked up and in by Luke Knight. It's not away yet. It's bouncing around in the area. It looked like it bounced up and possibly hit the hand of Horgan.
The referee is never going to
The referee's not given that. But now it's Slough very much on the retreat as it's...
Ossetutu
down this near side up against Parsons. He's driving in on his left foot. He's flicked it inside to Lee Smith, and then a crunching tackle from Luke Knight, who certainly left a little bit there on Smith. But it's Horgan's got the ball, and he's going to look to just play it down the line. He's played it off Adrian Sears' nose, and
Horgan just making sure his nose is all right.
I think he was having a bit of a laugh, and once again he's cleaning the ball like he's got a tick or something like that, and he gets the ball back from
OCD, isn't it?
It is OCD. And Luke Knight gets up, wins that ball well, helped on its way by Sear, but it's only into the middle of the park, and it's going to be Captain John with the ball at his feet, just happy to chip the ball into the corner for Lee Smith to get after, and it's Billy Jeffries going across there to try and take a quick throw.
And I think the problem there was the ball came to Sear in the first half. He would have controlled the ball, taken it down, maybe look for the pass. This time he's trying to hook the ball forwards, and it's just giving the ball straight back to Hungerford, and this second half they've dealt with it properly and scored 2 goals.
Yeah, as John rises well, heads the ball down, frustrating Slough, and Fraser's trying to make progress down that far side, and he throws the ball up, headed down by Scott Harris, tries to get the ball back, but Slough not really combining or holding the ball up that well, but Jake Parsons tries to cut inside. He's dribbling midway inside the half, and it's ricocheted to Scott Harris. Scott Harris left foot drive, it's chipped and up and over the bar, and that really probably sums up Slough's second half performance, doesn't it? It wasn't quite there, wasn't quite the chances, and kind of poor execution at the end, really.
Yep, totally. And Slough getting what they deserve from the game. Not a lot.
Yeah, I would say on the first half performance, it was a solid, strong enough first half.
But again, we didn't take the chances, did we?
Slightly fortunate to go in perhaps 1 goal to the good, but in this second half it's been all Hungerford, and I would be interested to hear what the players think and how much they feel that was down to these conditions and whether the wind strengthened or worsened, because it's very difficult and easy from off the side of the pitch to kind of comment about what's happened. Is Parsons does well to win the ball, and it's with Ben Edwards, and Ben Edwards still got lots of running in those old legs out there, plays it through to Jake Parsons, who is getting hassled and bullied there by John, and John's done terribly well to win the ball, flicked it off, and
he's going to get
Reese has had a dive. And
Jake Parsons going a little bit mad with that decision. And
very interesting, but Hungerford in no hurry whatsoever to get this ball forward. They will very much see this as a valuable 3 points in their push for promotion.
Yeah, well, they're on a bit of a roll, aren't they? The last 6 they've won 5 and drawn 1. So looks like they're heading for another victory today. Push them up into the top 5.
Yeah, as they fire the ball into the corner, headed away by Fraser to Jake Parsons, still deep inside their own half, and Slough looking to try and get things underway.
Mystery free kick again from somewhere.
I think it hit the player's hand as he was on the floor. As Somerville's looking to run straight through to this ball, chip it forward, and it's clipped in the direction of Scott Harris, just bouncing around there, and it's fallen to Johnny Dyer. Johnny Dyer tries to clip the ball through towards the edge of the box. Well cut out though by Rusbury, who's grown into this game, and Hungerford are now looking to come away with the ball well and strongly and play a long diagonal ball in the direction of Lee Smith. Somerville comes off his line well though, clears the ball up. Now Slough need to gamble. The managers are showing Somerville that they want this ball upfield.
Billy Jeffries has gone forwards to go up front, but
Reese,
the ball's with Hungerford in the Slough half.
And it's 3-on-3 as it's played through in the middle to Reese. Reese pulls the trigger, but it's blocked by Tom Moran, and then a strong tackle came in by Fraser. And Fraser's up then. Billy Jeffries just lets John Monday know he's there. And now there's a challenge for Sear, and Sear comes a long way. And good job he got that ball there. Otherwise, he could be in trouble.
But now it's 4 against 5.
Slough committing players forward, and on running is Jake Parsons. And he's just had a heavy touch there at the wrong time. And coming back was O'Brien, who's done tremendously well. Who's ran all of 60 or 70 yards, but he's at least allowed Hungerford the time to get themselves back in as the ball's over Scott Harris's head, and it's almost hit him back on the shoulder, and Captain John over there on that far side is going to try and get the ball away, and it's with him now. He's going to just usher time as we're in the final 2 minutes. Hungerford lead 2 goals to 1, and it's 2-2 on this near side to Lee Smith. Lee Smith got plenty of time and space. I don't think he's going to shoot. He is going to shoot straight at Somerville, who seemed to almost be moving slightly early. Did okay to hold on to the ball, and now Somerville slashed at that one again, and it's in the direction of Harris, but it doesn't reach him, as I think his clearances are being affected by going into the wind. Smashed forward there by Jake Parsons, repelled well there by Horgan. It's a anywhere will do at the moment for Hungerford, and Fraser takes matters into his own hands, heads the ball to himself, flicks it out right to Jake Parsons. Jake Parsons down the line plays an aerial ball which is just slightly held up in the wind. It's bouncing around in there, and the free kick from the referee's assistant, and Hungerford will be happy to see that. They're going to ease up a little bit of time there, as I think Day's down injured on that far side, and just making the most of it really.
Yeah, and Slough just, I think that maybe that you're right with the fact the conditions have come in, but O'Brien's been the standout player in this match out of all the teams here, both teams here, and Slough just haven't marked him, and it's just gone to show he's literally had 2 chances today. He's taken them both, and maybe Slough should have done better in the first half and taken some of the chances. Yeah,
he was absolutely clinical. You can't begrudge Hungerford their 2-1 victory here. I think it was probably rightly deserved. They have certainly been knocking on the door and caused problems, certainly from whipping balls into the box, and when Goodger was on the pitch he was certainly a nuisance, as we're waiting for Paul Strudley to get the game back underway, and he slashed that ball well held low down by Jake Parsons, and he's played the ball forward, and a long sliding tackle there by Billy Jeffries, who tried to block the ball, and John slashed the ball out of play. So Slough now need to get everybody forward. This is one final push. We've played half a minute of injury time as it is. They trail 2 goals to 1.
You've got no long throw though, have they?
They haven't got a long throw, no Hollis today, and they're suffering. The Slough fans to our left-hand side start to make some noise. Slough just leaving a couple of players back at home, but they're in danger of losing out to the ball here, and they've conceded the throw in.
Let the ball out.
That might well be that. There's going to be a couple of injury time minutes, you'd think.
Yeah, well, there was the injury to Rumbold, and who else came on? Sear, wasn't it, in the second half?
Yeah, and there's been a large number of substitutes as well. Both teams emptying their benches, as the ball's again miscontrolled there by Billy Jeffries on the far side. It's now out for a throw-in on the far side, and Hungerford in absolutely no hurry whatsoever. I don't think the referee Jeff Russell's had his greatest game probably as an official, but I don't think he's had a bearing on the result.
It must be hasn't a bearing on the result, but it is a poor performance by the referee.
Yeah, as the ball's chipped forward by Ben Edwards, but once again it's not to a yellow shirt and hooked away by number 7 James Clark for Hungerford, who've worked tirelessly to a man. We've now got 2 balls on the pitch, we need to quickly get rid of that one, as Fraser's looking to try and get play underway. We've played 47 minutes here at Holloway's. It's Slough 1, Hungerford 2. And 2 goals by O'Brien in the second half have turned this game in the direction of Hungerford, and Hungerford now looking to try and put Slough to the sword.
It's O'Brien again on a hat-trick.
Taken a massively heavy touch, and it's gone all the way through to Somerville, thankfully for Slough, as Somerville now looks to get the ball forward, and he's bowled it out because out of his hands it's not going that well, so he's looking to dribble the ball out. He's 40 yards from goal. He needs to now push the button.
And he's fluffed it up in the air.
He's chipped the ball forward. It's not got that much distance on it. Repelled by John, but it's only as far as Ben Edwards, middle of midfield. He's going to pass the ball out to left back Ryan Parsons. Ryan Parsons shut down though. He needs to get that ball forward, and he's now just passed it. Slough just passing it forward. It's to Fraser inside the centre circle, and he's chipped the ball forward in the direction of Luke Knight. It's fallen edge of the box, and Luke Knight's won it. He's flicked it back into the box. It's bouncing around in there. It could be anything. It's going on in there. It's out to Luke Knight, edge of the box, smashes the ball. It's hit his head. It definitely hit his face.
But Ben Edwards has stood there claiming it's handball, and the ball's gone straight past him.
And Tom Moran's just having to do some defending. Just got shoved there by
Osset
Tutu, and so Slough are going to have one final opportunity. But that was certainly not a handball. That shot by Luke Knight was not.
And the referee's
having
word with somebody.
As Ben Edwards just having a little bit of pushing and shoving there with Rees, I think it is, in the middle, the midfield, and
Rees is being called over, and
as is Luke Knight. Unsurprisingly, Jesus is a naughty boy.
But I think Tom Moran's going up for this last free kick. Are you going home?
I'm going home. I've had enough.
The game's not over till the fat lady sings.
Where are you then? Are you singing?
Ooh.
Right, we're not saying that. But we are well into the injury time. We have played nearly 49 minutes. Slough trying to get the ball anywhere up near the Hungerford box, and it's battling around in there. It's hooked on by Luke Knight, but it's headed away by Clark. Referee has another look at his watch. It's going to be a Slough throw on the near side, midway inside the Hungerford half.
As the paperwork goes.
As Luke Knight edge of the box.
Oh, he's lost it. Given a foul.
Monday, and I think that's going to be that. It was a poor tackle, and Monday's making the most of it. It takes some time to get back up, doesn't it?
Are you referencing his size?
No, just at this stage of the game. Okay. Final score: Cambridge City 2, Hitchin 4. Final score: Weymouth 1, Truro 1. Final score: Bideford 3, Poulton Rovers 0. So there's lots of goals out there today, and we've seen 3 here at Holloway so far. We are in the 50th minute here of this second half, and Parsons trying to let the ball out, but he's going to be under pressure.
And that's the final whistle.
Hungerford deserve victors here. Slough haven't had any sort of New Year's gift here. They have certainly been beaten probably by a better team. And what would you sum up the game? How would you sum it out, Ade?
I think that Slough have maybe not picked out the danger man for Hungerford, let him have a lot of opportunities, and when he's had them, he's taken them. And we didn't take the ones in the first half. And, I think maybe Slough have got to be a little bit more clinical. You could say the same against the Chesham game as well, where Slough maybe should have had a goal or two, but the man of the match is Adrian Sear for Slough. Good decision that, but I think Slough got to be a little bit more clinical, and maybe that's the thing that Slough maybe need to work on, is maybe getting another striker in if Ed's got an injury.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what the managers think after the game, and what their position is regarding the conditions and things like that, how much of a bearing that had. But we will sign off. We are back in barely 2 days' time.
Barely 2 days.
Barely 2 days' time. In 48 hours, we will have had another game under our belts. This time it is the big local derby against Burnham.
Well, I wouldn't say big. It's Burnham, isn't it? It's a local derby, but
it's a local derby. There'll be some kicking, some shoving, some fighting.
Yeah, but it won't be big. There won't be like 1,000 people here.
There's not going to be 1,000 people. You are just so miserable.
And just realistic.
Anyway, we're going. Thank you very much for tuning in. You have a choice not to, of course, and we appreciate it. Any feedback, any thoughts, please let us know at MyFC Rebels Radio or through any of the chat rooms. Otherwise, we wish you a good New Year. Don't drink too much tonight. And
that was last night.
They might drink tonight as well.
I'm drinking tonight.
And we'll see you all later.